Hello, everybody. What is up? So amazing to see. We've got 6,000 people already and people are still flying in. Hey, welcome to this masterclass with Vinh Giang. I'm Dan. Obviously, I'm not Vinh. I'll be your moderator for today, and I'm just going to take 2 minutes of your time to run you through how this is all going to work. But just before we jump into things, let me know, where is everyone tuning in from? Let me know in chat. Already seeing heaps of people kind of flying through with everything. Oh my goodness. Awesome, awesome. There are a lot of people from all over the place. Wow. Sorry, I'm just testing out this fun little world map thing. There are a lot of people from all over the world tuning in. Oh my goodness. Well, that's pretty amazing. And we're up to 6,700. Oh my goodness. We're going to hit that 10,000 cap. It's kind of, we're trying to break Zoom here, I think. Alrighty, hey, loving the super positive and super cool vibes in the chat right now. Hey, what better way to spend a Wednesday morning here in South Australia? I don't know, it might be a Tuesday night for a lot of other people in the world. Now, there's one main rule for this masterclass today, and that's really just keeping things positive, because we're all here to have a good time and do some learning as well. So just letting you all know, if there's any spam, any hate comments, any kind of general nastiness in chat, just letting you know, you will be exited from this space quick, smart, thanks to our vigilant moderation team. So please, hey, let's play nice and let's just remain positive, all right? Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the Q&A section as well. We'll try to get around to answering them where we can. And also, make sure you put your phones on flight mode. If you've got kids running around, put them on flight mode as well, or get them to lean into the experience just like yourselves, because, hey, we don't want you to miss out on anything at all today. So really, today it's about fun. We really hope this kickstarts your journey into unlocking your communication potential. Now, just to wrap things up, I am a little bit biased here, but I would say that Vinh is the best communication skills coach in the world right now. So if you're here to learn how to wield your voice better, if you're here to learn how to be more impactful with your communication skills, and even if you're just here to learn how to connect better with other people, you're in the right place. So, just final thing before I throw over to Vinh, everyone always asks, is this pre-recorded? Is this live? Well, it most definitely is. So you can help me out a little bit here in that in chat, I'd love it if you can maybe just post a word that you want Vinh to say. Last time we did this, pineapple for some reason was the word to go to. Everyone wanted pineapple. I'm seeing a few words kind of throwing in there. There's chocolate, there's universe. So I'm going to let chat go. I'm going to throw over to Vinh. And once there's a bit of a consensus around the word, we'll get Vinh to say it. Have an awesome, awesome webinar, masterclass, and we'll see you soon. All right.
Hi, hello, good to see you everyone. My goodness, I see the words all just flowing like crazy. I see some hearts coming up. Thanks for the emojis as well, everyone. So I'm going to try to pick a word here to say out loud so you all know I'm here with you. And it looks like I see banana. For some reason we have banana. I also see the word tortillas. I'm also kind of seeing the word pizza is coming up a lot. And then inevitably after pizza, you know what comes after pizza? Pineapple. You know what? It's so good to see so many of you here from so many different corners of the world. It's unbelievable. We've got people from Italy. We've got people from all over the US, all over Australia, all over Asia. I saw Germany in there as well. I saw India, Spain, Philippines. Hey, I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me on a Wednesday morning here in Australia. So for many of you, it's still Tuesday. So we all come to you from the future, the future. Write these lottery numbers down. I'm just kidding. I wish it was that simple. So I just want to quickly note out as well, if the chat becomes distracting for you, because we've got 8,000+ people at the moment, if it becomes distracting, just put it aside and focus on me as we continue this process. Lean in and engage when you want to, but you can also put it aside just by clicking that chat button and it disappears. You know what, as we begin our time together today, I just wanted to say that I'm so glad you're here. So many people don't work on this skill set. So many people don't work on their communication skills. Why? Because this is one of the scariest things to do. If you look at the things people fear the most, right up above in the top 3 is public speaking. And I just want to dispel something straight away. I want to get something really clear. People, sometimes when I tell them, look, it's important to work on public speaking, they immediately say, oh no, Vin, I don't need public speaking because I don't do any public speaking. Well, let me dispel that myth for you right away. If you open your mouth and speak to people in public, that is public speaking. It's not just for when you're on stage and speaking to others. Anytime you open your mouth and you speak, that is a form of public speaking. And if you're here right now because you do feel like you're not able to communicate your value in a job interview, you're not able to communicate your value with your peers and your colleagues at work, if you feel like you're not able to articulate your feelings clearly, if you feel like you have something in your mind, an idea, but then when you communicate, it's difficult to get that out. If you're here because you feel like you don't have as much credibility when you speak, as much presence, and if you're here because you feel invisible, or if you feel as if you already know that communication skills are holding you back, if you're here for any of those reasons, please know you're in the right place. I'm not good at a lot of things in life, but this communication skills thing, oh, this I'm good at, baby. I've spent over 15 years focusing on this craft, this one craft, so you're in the right place. I'm going to be able to help you amplify the best parts of who you are. But before I do this, and the reason I'm thinking for a second is because I want to bring you into the world of magic, and that's the world that I live in. I used to be a professional magician. So I'm going to bring you into the world of magic first as we do this metaphorically, and then I'm going to show you how it links to your world. You see, in the world of magic, where I started my career, I was taught this. I was taught that if I wanted more success in my life as a magician, and insert your career here. But for me as a magician, I was taught that if I wanted more success, I have to focus on technical, SKE, which stands for technical skill, technical knowledge, and technical experience, SKE. So then when I was taught this in my career as a magician, and when I was taught this in my career as an accountant, I started doing this. I spent thousands of hours working on my technical skill, technical knowledge, and technical experience. So now, because I'm bringing you into the world of magic, I want to share with you what thousands of hours spent on technical skill, technical experience, and technical knowledge looks like. So I'm going to get you to join me on my close-up camera. So join me over here as I get a bit fancy on you. So join me over here. I want to show you the metaphor, okay? So I want to share with you one of the most complicated pieces of sleight of hand. But first of all, I want to share with you all the cards are different. Otherwise, this trick wouldn't be that good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 4 aces here, and I'm going to lose them into 4 different places. There's the first one, there's the second, there's the third, and there's the fourth. Got it? Watch very closely. I'm just going to get the camera focused a little bit better. There you go. So look, 4 aces in 4 different places. Lose them into the pack. Now, if you were here, I'd let you shuffle them, but because you're not, I'll shuffle them on your behalf. So I'm going to do this as fairly as I can. As fairly as I possibly can. I'll even do one of these little fancy little fun shuffles like this. Okay, now the aces are all mixed into the pack. The most technically difficult piece of sleight of hand now is to find the 4 aces without looking. So here we go. This is technical skills alone. It looks like this. You see, I spent thousands of hours learning sleight of hand in my bedroom by myself. And as I was doing this thousands of hours by myself in my bedroom, I used to watch myself and go, my God, you're amazing, Vin. You're bloody brilliant. And then for the longest time, I couldn't understand why I was not achieving more success. I wasn't achieving more success, and I couldn't understand why. Because I was taught my entire life that, Vin, if you focused on this, and if you think about your career, this is what we get told in any career, that the more we focus on our technical abilities, the more successful we'll become. This is not the truth. Is not the truth, because we are missing one particular ingredient. We're missing one ingredient, and the ingredient we're missing, I didn't understand what ingredient that was until I came across a book called Strong Magic by Darwin Ortiz. So in the book Strong Magic by Darwin Ortiz, he talked about a concept that magicians were missing. He said that magicians far too often focus way too much of their time on technical skill, knowledge, and expertise. They forget to spend time on what magicians call showmanship. Terrible handwriting. Should have become a doctor. My mum would have been so proud. But you see, showmanship is just a fancy word for communication skills in the world of magic. That's all that it means. It means communication skills. Now, can you see where I went wrong? Because this here is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned that you're about to learn yourself too. Think about this for a moment. Let's say that with your technical skill, you are a scale of 1 to 10. You're 10 out of 10 technically brilliant with your skills and your technical abilities. 10 out of 10. However, if your communication skills are a 3 out of 10, do you think people perceive you to be a 10 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10? And the reality is you're only as good as you can communicate. This is why we need to improve our communications so we can amplify the best parts of who we are. Can you see that's the importance of communication skills? So what I'm going to do now, because I believe in experiential learning, is I'm going to show you now sleight of hand paired with showmanship. And then you can kind of be the judge. Which was the better experience? So we're going to flip back over to the other camera. Thanks for leaning in and thanks for joining those of you who've just joined. We've just hit over 9,000 people. Hello. So we're going to switch straight back over here. Now I'm going to show you technical skill combined with showmanship. And this is what it looks like. We're going to play a wonderful game called 3-Card Monty. You ready? Here we go. So it begins with 1 card and then it moves to 2 cards. And then remember, it's called 3-Card Monty, so we need 3 cards. So I've got 3 cards here. Now, please lean in and play along with this in the chat. Your job is to watch the 5, the red card. Forget the jokers. Don't worry about them. So let's keep our eye on the 5. You have to watch the 5. So if I, first of all, if I take the 5, for example, and if I leave the 5 on the table, then my question to you is what card is here? I type in the chat. What do you think is here? 5 or J for Joker? 5 or J for Joker? Oh, good. Lots of people writing J. You think this is the Joker? You're not watching close enough. That's a 5. Unfortunately, you're wrong because the Joker's on the table. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. So if I do this again, okay, if I do this again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the Joker on the table. I show you the 5 once. I show you the 5 twice. And then I'll show you one last time just in my hand here. So if the 5 is here, next question, what card here is on the table? What card is this? Have a guess. 5 or Joker? A lot of people typing Joker. Good, 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 good. Unfortunately, that's the 5 there. Yeah, did you see them switch places? Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to watch really closely. Now what I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to take the 5 out of sight, out of mind. I'm going to take the 5 and I'm going to put it in my pocket. Okay? So the 5 goes into my pocket. Watch, it goes into my pocket in my pants here. Out of sight, out of mind. Now there are 2 jokers here, the first one and the second one. What if I told you, right? In a moment, I'm going to go to my pocket, I'm going to palm the 5, and then I'm going to switch one of the jokers for the 5 and the 5 for one of the jokers. If I can do this without any of you seeing, any of you here right now, would you be impressed? Type Y for yes and N for no. I'm going to look at the chat over there. Yes, everyone typing yes, good. Then I'll do it. So right now you don't know what to watch, do you? Do you watch my right hand? My right hand here is your left, because Zoom reverses things. Or do you watch my left hand? My left is your right. Or do you try to keep a glimpse of my pocket down here? How do you watch everything when it's already done? You see, because in my pocket is the Joker. Now, in this game, my friends, they let you win once. You know, they do. They go, oh, look, it's fine, Jeremy. I'm going to let you win once, Jeremy. And they give you the 5. Do you know why they give you the 5? Well, because it builds your confidence and then you bet more money. That's right, you bet more money. But do you really think I want you to win right now? Do you really think that is the 5? No, it's not. It's actually another Joker. Did you see it go? Because if you didn't see it go, you might have to watch the replay because the 5 is back in my pocket. Right, I have 4 cards. It's how I cheat. Now, I'm only going to do this move once. I don't even have sleeves. So I want you to watch this I'm only going to do it once. Watch very carefully. Once, twice. I'm even going to show you this card here. I want to put this Joker in my pocket. And think about what's psychologically going on here. Think about this just for a moment. What do you think think about this carefully. What do you think is here? Try to get ahead of me here. What do you think this is here? J or the Joker? Good. Most people writing Joker. Good job. You're getting the hang of the game. Well done. When you think it's the Joker, that's when I use reverse psychology. If you jump 1 step ahead, I'll jump 2 steps ahead. Remember, if I wanted you to win, I'd give you the 5, okay? So the card I leave on the table is the card for you. So if I want you to win, I'd give you the 5. So think about this. Do you really think I want you to win at this point? You're thinking, no, Vin, your 5 is here and that's not the card. That's not the winning card. You're a monster. Of course you don't want us to win. The answer is I actually do want you to win. And then one last time, you have to ask yourself, how is it possible for you to lose with a magician as your friend? Every single card is the first one, the second one, and the third, all 5s. Moral of the story, don't gamble with me. Do we need to debate which was the superior experience? Do we need to debate? And I'll thank you for all the emojis come up. Everyone's like, love it, love it, love it, crazy, ha ha ha. And then for some people, it's like, I don't even know what I just saw. I was right next to my computer screen. What was going on? Now, do we need to debate? Was technical skills alone better, or was it showmanship combined with technical skills? We don't need to debate this, and I've never seen so many emojis pop up on my screen. Thank you for the engagement. It makes it that much more fun for me. So thank you. But that's when everything changed in my life. That's when everything started to make sense. One of the reasons why it felt like I was driving through my life with the brakes on was simply because I was taught the wrong thing in my life. All throughout my formal education, I was taught that this was the key to everything. And then it just wasn't the truth. It's not just technical skills, it's communication skills and technical skills. But then I know what you're thinking. Some of you are like, oh, Vin, just because you teach communication, you over-index on this. No. No. I spent thousands of hours working on my technical skill. It's not that I don't value technical skills. It's that that's all I used to value at one point. And then when I realized the answer wasn't which one should I focus on, but rather the answer is both, that completely changed my life. I can tell you right now that in the last 2 years, and I'm sharing this not to gloat, even though it looks like I'm gloating and it might make some of you nauseous, but in the last 2 years, I feel like I've been able to do something rather incredible online. And I'm going to show this with you. #humblebrag. Have a look at this. I've been able to, in the last 2 years with my YouTube channel, go from nothing. I started again from scratch, from nothing to now 1.4 million. We're almost at 1.5 million subscribers. My Instagram, I took it from 40,000 2 years ago to now we've got over 3.5 million followers. Many of you have come along because of my Instagram. Same thing with my TikTok, from 0 to 1.8 million, my Facebook from 0 to 1.7 million, and my mailing list now has over 1.1 million people on there. And then, how did I do this? I mean, how was I able to do this? To me, the reason I was able to achieve the following is simply because I worked on my communication ability. I was able to communicate the value that I had really clearly. It's why we have over 9,000 of you here in this particular masterclass with me now. And forget about me for a second. Take me out of the equation and think about all of your favorite influencers. Think about all the people that you keep going back to on YouTube. Think about all the people that you keep going back to on TikTok and Instagram. Why do you keep going back to them? Why do they have millions of followers online? It's because of their ability to form a connection with you through the screen. And then think about the common thread that they all have. What is the common skill set that they all have that's able to wield influence in today's world? What's the common thread? What's the common skill? You already know, right? It's their ability to communicate to you. This is why this is one of the most valuable skills to learn that's going to give us one of the biggest competitive advantages right now in 2024 and moving forward. So make no mistake, this is one of the most critical skill sets, yet most people aren't even thinking about it. So the fact that you're here, you're ahead of most. You're ahead of most. So congratulations for being here. You're about to learn what I believe is one of the most valuable skill sets in the world. And I need to just point this out as well. There's a huge part of my life where I just value technical skill. And that's where some of you are right now. And that's okay. We all got to start somewhere. But when I didn't improve my communication skills, I didn't realize the cost of it. I didn't realize that by not learning how to communicate more effectively, it was destroying my career growth. No promotions. Every time I went for a job interview, I would never get a call back. Was it because I wasn't technically good enough? No, I was more than technically good enough. But I wasn't able to communicate and demonstrate my value in that meeting. They weren't able to see it because my communication skills let me down, even though I was good enough for the part. I missed out because I didn't form a connection. I wasn't able to articulate those values. And then more than this, out of my professional life, I, for the longest time, felt lonely. You know, one of the biggest things for me when I was young is I've always wanted to find a girlfriend. I've always wanted to find a girlfriend, and I'll never forget this. I remember asking my dad when I was young for some relationship advice. I said, Dad, I really want a girlfriend. What do I do? And I remember him looking me in the eyes, and he goes, no money, no honey, man. I thought, wow, Dad, that rhymes, but I have no idea what that means. My dad was trying to give me advice, be successful, and hopefully you'll find a partner. But again, when I was young, I've always wanted a girlfriend, listening to bad advice from Dad and from people. I was never able to find love simply because I wasn't able to communicate my value as a man. I was never able to find love. And for the longest time in my personal life, I suffered to communicate my value as a man. My what will reset the board. Hold on, give us 2 seconds. Hold on, 2 seconds. Resetting the board. Coming back, Dad. And we're back. Thank you, everyone. That is the wonders of doing live sessions. But you see, for the longest time, I didn't understand why I wasn't able to build a deep relationship with those people that I loved. I wasn't able to find a partner. I didn't realize the true cost of not being able to communicate effectively. Now, that's me, but I want to throw it to you now. I want to throw it to you. So I want to ask all of you here one question, and I want you to type your answers, and I'm going to get my board and I'm going to read some of your answers out. But my question to you is this: how has a lack of communication skills impacted you in your life? I want to leave this on screen for you to see now. How has a lack of communication skills impacted you in your life? Look, I'm seeing people say loneliness, being invisible. A lot of people saying career, Vinh. Lots of it is to do with career. And people saying being misunderstood. Okay, that's a big one. Being misunderstood. I feel a lot of anxiety every time I'm meeting new people. Lost opportunities. That's a really big one here that I'm reading that people are typing. Lost opportunity. But more than lost opportunity, people are saying, people don't hear me. I feel like I don't have a voice. When there's a situation that's happening, because I am not good at communication, I don't engage in that communication, therefore I don't have a voice in that conversation. No one hears what I'm saying. Next one is relationships. There's a big one here too. Missing out on job opportunities. Can you see the cost of not being able to communicate? Can you see it fly by on your screen right now? This is the reality of us not working on our communication skills. And often we're blind to this. Sometimes when we don't think about these things, we're blind to all of these things that people are typing. People are typing right now thousands of things. These are the thousands of different costs if we don't improve this skill set. Now I'm going to ask you another painful question. And I'm asking you this because as we face the truth, that gives us inspiration to push forward and create a different future. So here's another question. And this one might sting. It might sting, but that's okay. Don't be afraid to look at the truth. How many years have you allowed this to go on for? How many years? You see, this is almost one of the most painful parts of asking the question live. Is that, look, sure, I mean, you're seeing the same numbers I'm seeing, right? Sure, the first time I see it, you see some people say 3 years, Vinh, 5 years. And as you look a little closer, you start to see 20 years, 25 years. I just saw one that came across at 35 years. Don't allow a lack of communication skills to rob you of any more time, to rob you of any more relationships, to rob you of any more job opportunities, to rob you of the future that you desire. Stop. We've got to stop. Look at the truth and not be afraid to see the truth. And then now, from a point of being able to see the truth, we create a new future. We create a new future from this point. And that's why you're here. That's why you're here. So know that you've already taken the actions to do something about it. Most do not do anything about this, whereas you've already taken the first step. You're already present, and you've done more than most. This is why you achieve more than most. You see, it's not easy looking at that truth, but now we've looked at it. Now we look to the future. I want you to know a couple of things as we're about to dive into the content. Get your notepads ready. But I want to just share a couple of things with you. For all of those of you who are here right now, for those of you who stay till the end, what we're going to do is we're going to give every single person a copy of my self-awareness assessment guide, which is this here. This is a 5-step process that's going to help you become more aware of how you can improve your communication skills. What are the skills holding you back? This 5-step process, usually I only normally give this to my in-person class students. It's worth about $100. Everyone who's here gets a copy of that. So just know that your mere presence, as you show up for you, I want to show up for you. And that's how I'm going to do that. And another big thing here at the Stage Academy with all my team members, one of our biggest values is generosity. So what we also want to do, and this is super exciting, we love doing this, is we are going to pick 3 winners to win a copy of my online course, the Stage Academy. So we're going to pick 3 people out of all the people that are here live right now. At the end, we're going to pick 3 people, and you've got to be here live. Otherwise, unfortunately, we do redraw it. So just letting you know with that. Super excited about that. Now we're here, and as we kick things off, I always share this particular piece I'm about to share. And this is for a reason, and you'll know the reason after I share it. Whether I'm in person or virtual, I always share this. Let's switch screens. You see, for those of you who don't know, about over 15 years ago, I was in university and I was studying accounting, yay! Fulfilling the Asian prophecy, of course. And you see, as I was fulfilling the Asian prophecy, I was studying commerce and law. It's a 5-year degree. And then about 4.5 years into the 5-year degree, about 6 months to go, I came home and I had the following conversation with my parents. So 6 months to go in a 5-year degree, I come home and I say this. I come home and we're in the lounge room and I come home and I say to my mum and dad, I say, Mum, Dad, I love you. I'd like to quit university. And then I kid you not, my mum immediately starts crying. It's impossible to cry that fast. But then she knew that if she cries, my dad will get pissed off. So I remember my dad, he rolls up his sleeves and he walks up towards me, my dad, and my dad does this. He goes, for those of you who don't know, just in case, that's what Bruce Lee does before he kicks your ass. So I recognize the signs of danger and I say, Dad, no, wait, don't, Dad, there's 2 things I have to tell you. Dad, the first thing is I've already quit university. I've already quit. I thought I'd quit and then I'll apologize. I've already quit. And Dad, the second thing is, second thing, listen carefully, Dad. Dad, I'd like you to give me $100,000 so I can build a business on the internet teaching magic tricks. Let's just make sure we're on the same page here. I've just told a 60-year-old Vietnamese man who's been through the war. He was on a boat for bloody 2 months, a refugee island for 2 years. I've just told this man that I wanted to be Harry Potter. So my dad at this point is furious. He's so angry he doesn't know what to do with himself. He looks to my mum now, who's crying for real. He walks over to my mum, grabs her by the arm, and then they both walk into the kitchen. And when they walk into the kitchen, I'm thinking to myself, why would you go? Knives are in the kitchen. So I start to panic. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness, are they going to kill me? And while I'm thinking this, they start to whisper. And then my imagination just goes crazy. When Vietnamese parents whisper, shit's about to go down. So I freak out and I'm thinking, what are they saying? So my imagination goes crazy. And this is what I'm thinking my dad's saying. My dad's probably saying something like this to my mum, something like this. Okay, baby, don't cry, okay? Don't worry, okay, baby, don't cry. Okay? Hey, honey, we killed this boy, okay? Tonight. Okay, baby, okay? You don't worry, man. Okay, honey, tonight. Me and you, okay? Me and you together. We make another one. And they did. They did make another one. They made my brother. My brother and I are over 12 years apart. Thanks for all the laughing emojis. It just makes it hurt even that much more. So thank you for your support and love there. But you see, my brother was born as a result. My brother and I are over 12 years apart because my parents had me and they went, oh crap, we stuffed that one up. We'll have another one as an insurance policy. And my brother is in the health industry now, in case you're wondering. You know, my parents, I actually do have a brother in the health. It's ridiculous. My parents, about 15 minutes, they come out of the kitchen. And you have to know something about my dad. My dad's the oldest child in the family, and he was the one that made the decision to flee Vietnam during the war. So then my dad comes out, and he says the following, catches me off guard. My mum and dad, they come out, and my dad says, he goes, boy, boy, I didn't risk my life. I didn't risk the lives of all your uncles, all your aunties, especially your grandpa, grandparents, and your mother. I didn't risk everybody's life in the Giang family to try to find freedom, to then force you to do something you don't want to do. If it's magic, it's okay. And the most beautiful words he said then followed. The most beautiful words he said then followed. He said, son, however, in this life, you owe me one thing. Do you realize this, boy? You owe me one thing, though. In this life, you have to jump as high as you can. And as long as I'm alive, I'll forever be your net. You know, I always start with this story because I'm so aware that I would not be where I am today. I would have not have achieved the things that I've achieved in my life if it wasn't for the sacrifices my mum and dad have made and those before them. And I believe the same to be true for you right now as you sit there with me. You would not be who you are. You would not be where you are if it wasn't for the sacrifices your families have made. Whether it's the families we choose or the families we're born into. Before we kick things off, can we take a moment to send love to our families all around the world just by hashtagging family? And I want to share with you here, that's my mum and my dad. Oh, that's mum and dad. That's the two people that has made everything possible for me in my life. And I love that everybody is leaning in the chat, hashtagging family, and just sending good vibes out there into the universe to the people who have given us so much. We always share our gratitude, and let's not forget to use our ability to communicate some of that gratitude to the people that have given us so much, whether it's the families we choose or the families we're born into. So again, this is for family, and I love that everyone's leaning in. Good on you. You know, and most of you don't know this about me too, but not just dropping out of university with 6 months to go, I spent a huge part of my career being what they call a professional speaker, or sometimes they call it a keynote speaker. And I'm going to share something with you here that's going to change your mind about something. The first time I got booked to do a professional speaking gig, I'm going to show you the contract that they gave me. The first gig I ever did was back around 2013, and this was the contract they used to pay me. So they said, Vin, would love you to speak for an hour and we'll pay you $400 for that hour. And I remember when they sent me this contract, I kind of went, wait, what? You want to pay me $400 an hour? What? That's crazy. Can I do it twice? And then and they said, no, Vin, we'd just like you to do it once. I was like, ah, damn it. But I couldn't believe that someone would pay me $400 for an hour to speak. To me, at that point in my life, I was making about $20 an hour. And I thought, this is outrageous. I did the event, blew my mind. I could not believe it. And I want to share something really interesting with you. This is one of my recent contracts in the last couple of years. Fast forward now, 10 years. I want you to see something really interesting here. That led me to feeling a lot of imposter syndrome. But this is one of my recent contracts. One of my recent contracts, I was paid over 110,000 USD to speak for an hour. And I remember when I got this, I started freaking out. I started going, okay, great. They're going to find out I don't have a university degree. They're going to find out that I cut out of my course quickly and that I had 6 months to go, don't actually even have a degree. Then they're going to work out that my brother's in the health industry and he's way smarter than me. And then I felt imposter syndrome. I felt like I was going to be told as there's this fraud, this person who's like a massive fraud. I freaked out. And I'm so glad I have wonderful friends like Mel. Mel Robbins, some of you know her. And I remember confiding in Mel. I said, Mel, they're going to work this out. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. And Mel said something to me that completely changed my life. Mel first of all goes, oh, shut up, honey. Oh, be quiet, you. There are so many other speakers who get paid way more than you per hour. I mean, Mel alone is more than $200,000 an hour. She goes, there are people that get paid $500,000 for the hour. And Vin, just calm yourself down. You're not that good. And I was kind of like, okay, was that meant to make me feel better? Because I feel even worse now, Mel. And then she said something truly profound. She goes, honey, do you know why speakers get paid this amount of money? Do you know why they get paid these incredible amounts of money? It's because the ability to be able to influence, the ability to be able to inspire, the ability to communicate effectively, this is hands down the most highly valued skill set in the world. There's no other profession that gets paid this much per hour. It's because the ability to communicate is the most highly valued skill set in the world. And that put it all into perspective for me. And it's true. If you research the speaking industry, it's $1 billion industry. Why do these speakers get paid so much? And I'm not saying this so you become a speaker because I don't need the competition, frankly, but rather because we are about to deep dive to learn one of the most highly valued skill set, if not the most valuable skill set in the world. And then imagine taking that skill set and then injecting it into your careers. What would that do for you? And I want to ask you that, and I want you to just think about that just for a moment. What would that do for you if you took one of the most highly valuable skill sets and injected it into your lives, personally and professionally? Get your notepads ready, get your pens out, or if you're new school, get your fingers ready to type. Let's start taking some notes. We're about to dive into the 3 universal laws. And as I go into this, I'm just going to tell you that the universal laws we're about to learn, if you don't understand these 3 universal laws, nothing will ever change with your communication skills. And reflect on this just for a moment. Think about the people around you that you have in your life. We change our sense of fashion, we change our hairstyle, we change our glasses, our watch, our belt, our shoes. We change so many different parts of ourselves as we grow through life. But there's one part that people never change. Reflect on this for a moment. Your friends, your family members, do they ever change the way they sound? They don't. And often the reason why people don't change the way they sound, change the way they communicate, is simply because they don't understand these 3 things you're about to learn. You understanding these 3 lessons unlocks a world of change for you. Don't underestimate how powerful these universal laws are, because until I understood them, nothing changed for me. The first one, this is a very important lesson from the world of vocal training. And the first one is known as 88 keys. 88 keys. I want to explain for you what 88 keys mean. 88 keys refers to a piano because a piano's got 88 keys. And I first learned this lesson from my vocal coach. So I went to vocal classes to try to improve the qualities of my voice, to understand all the lessons within the vocal training world, to be able to learn those lessons so I could later teach them. But here's the interesting thing. The first time I met my vocal teacher, I'll never forget this, okay? So it was a tiny music room with a massive piano. And then my vocal teacher, she was just sitting there in the corner of the music room as I walked in. So I walked in, very squishy room. I kind of walked in and kind of went, okay, hi, my name's Vinh, I'm here for my vocal class. And then my vocal teacher, do you know what she says? She just goes, sit down, young man. So I kind of went, oh, we're not going to even introduce, that's fine. So I sat down, and then she just starts playing one key on the piano nonstop. The same key. So she just plays the same key. Bum, bum, bum. Over and over again for a good 2 minutes. Again, this was one of the most freaky experiences ever. So I'm sitting back there going, what the hell is this? And then about 2 minutes later, she turns around. Do you know what she says to me? She has the nerve. She goes, how do you feel, young man? And I said to her, look, to be honest, I feel a little bit scared. I felt like your head was just going to turn all the way around and you're going to spit blood at me like the Exorcist. So I'm really scared, actually. And she goes, good. And then she goes on and she continues to play this beautiful song. And it was called Romance. Beautiful song. Takes about 2 minutes. And then she turns around and she goes, now, how do you feel, young man? And to be honest, I said to her, look, I'm still really scared from that first experience, but right now, that song made me feel really relaxed. That song made me feel like I was deeply, madly in love with someone, a lot of lust. And she said the most profound thing after that just kind of made me book in 20 sessions with her. She goes, most people in life, Vin, speak with one key. I'm going to teach you how to speak like this. And I kind of went, that's it? This is, I've never had this explained to me in that way before. This is absolutely amazing. Changed my life. And then she taught me the concept of 88 keys. She goes, you have access to this beautiful instrument, Vin. You have access to this beautiful, beautiful keys that you can access. But most people, they go through their entire lives and they don't realize this before they learn this lesson. And then they speak with one key. And then they go through their entire lives thinking that your voice is just a tool. And when you think of your voice as being a tool and you don't think of your voice as being an instrument, you don't start using your voice to its maximum capabilities. This was me for the longest time. For the longest time, I just thought my voice was a tool. I didn't think it was an instrument. She shared with me this beautiful lesson where she goes, Vin, when you go and play a piano, you play the piano. What about a ukulele? What do you do with it? You play the ukulele. What about a flute? What do you do with it? You play the flute. But then why, when it comes to your voice, do you use your voice? Honey, no, you play that instrument. And then she taught me the most vital lesson, and you really need to lean in for this part. Because if this part doesn't get unlocked, this lesson does not maximize its impact. So what happens when I first learned this is I would start using my voice in different ways, right? Because again, I used to just speak like this. I thought this was the way I would normally speak. And because that's what everyone around me does, I just thought that's normal. So I just keep doing this. And for as long as I was doing this, I was invisible. So then when she taught me to unlock this beautiful instrument that I had, it was really interesting. Because when she started to get me to speak with a really low voice, and then sometimes she would get me to speak with a really high voice, do you know what immediately happens to me? I kind of went, no, I can't do that. Sorry, I can't do this. Because that's fake, that's phony, and that's inauthentic. And I kind of remember her going, no, honey, you've got it all wrong. You've got it all wrong. Because the moment you think something is fake and phony, the moment you think it's inauthentic, do you know what happens? Do you know what happens? You stop exploring the 88 keys in your voice. You stop exploring all the beautiful keys you have access to. Because the moment you think it's inauthentic, you stop exploring. That's what you do. Because the moment you do stuff like that, you go, no, that's not me. That's inauthentic. So you have to reframe your way of thinking the moment you do something with your voice and it feels weird. And that's going to happen as you begin your communication skills journey. As you begin this journey, you're going to try things with your voice that feels strange. And the moment it feels strange, don't immediately go to inauthentic, fake and phony. Don't go to this. This is when you have to immediately apply this rule. Lean in. Don't miss this. You have to think to yourself, it's not fake and phony. You know, when I tried those keys, it's not fake and phony. I understand now that these keys here that I use every day, I'm really familiar with these keys. And then these keys over here, I'm just unfamiliar with them. The moment you go from familiar, they're just unfamiliar. Do you know what that mindset reset does? Do you know what it does? It continues to allow you to explore all the beautiful keys you have access to with your voice. Whereas the very moment, and 99.999% of people fall victim to, it's fake and phony, that's not me, not going to do it. Then they sound like this for the rest of their life and nothing ever changes. Again, the people in our lives change their fashion sense, change everything about them, change their cars, change their house, but they never change the way they talk. Do you notice that? That's simply because the moment they try something new, they go, fake and phony, not right, it's wrong. It's just unfamiliar. I can tell you right now that the majority of my students, if they don't get this, nothing changes. Unfamiliar. Underline it, circle it, put a star next to it, highlight it. One of the most powerful concepts in the world of communication. And just let me know, do a star emoji if you really connect with what I'm saying. Let me know what's resonating. Oh yes, thank you, Hassan. I see you there with the star emoji. Someone's going for the fancy emojis, I love it. Let's get to the second one. Right now in Australia, it's boiling hot, so I hope you don't mind me taking sips of water. I've even got 10 stars from some of you. Very generous, thank you. Number 2. Now, when it comes to the second universal law, this is going to seem very simple, okay? However, we're going to dive deeper into the simple concept. Because again, a lot of the times when we hear something over and over and over again, we kind of go, yeah, I heard that before. But I bet you've never dived this deep on this particular lesson. And I've obsessed over these things for years. So let's go down a rabbit hole, which at the beginning will seem like, I've seen this rabbit hole before, but you've never gone this deep on it. Next one. Only practice will lead to improvement. Only practice will lead to improvement when it comes to communication skills. We're about to go deep on this one. Let's go. Get your pens out, get your fingers ready. You see, there are so many different areas of study in the world where a cerebral understanding of that topic is enough. Okay? For example, if you learn mathematics, you can just understand the concept of 2 + 2 = 4. It makes sense cerebrally. Whereas with communication skills, you can't just have a cerebral understanding. Why? Because the way you communicate right now is based on a series of behaviors. One of the most common questions I get from my students is they say, Vinh, can I change the way I sound? And I ask them a question in return. I say, is it possible for you to change your behavior? And the answer is yes, you can change behaviors. The way you speak is just a series of behaviors. I'll prove it to you right now, and that's why practice is so important. Let me show you right now. I'm going to change the way I sound. You've seen some of me do it, right? So when I told my dad I wanted to be a magician and teach magic online, what did he say? He says, what the hell, man? You want to be the Harry Potter? A bad boy, kill this boy, right? Again, right? I'm just changing the way I move my mouth. I'm changing the way I move my tongue. I'm changing the airflow. It creates a different sound. This part is usually a penny drop moment. I could genuinely choose to sound like that for the rest of my life. I could sound like that for the rest of my life. Or I've just recently watched Batman again and I got really inspired. I liked one of the characters and the character is Bane. So if I start changing the way I move my mouth and whatnot, I could do this. Yeah, this is not very good, but let's do this. Here we go. Batman, you didn't live in the shadows. You merely rented the shadows. I was born in the shadows. You merely rented it. I could choose to sound like that for the rest of my life. I could genuinely choose to sound like that for the rest of my life. My wife will leave me. Dan probably won't want to work for me anymore. My subscribers and followers will all unfollow, and I'll live an extremely lonely life, gradually getting a mask for myself, and then shaving my head and becoming a villain. Right? So you've got to understand that right now, and here's the part where the penny drops for people. Right now, the way you currently sound is due to a series of unconscious behaviors that have become habits for you. And the moment it's become a habit for you, and you've been repeating these habits your entire life for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, do you know what happens to those habits? Those habits become invisible to you. And the moment those habits become invisible to you, do you know the conclusion you make? You go, this is just how I sound. This is my natural voice. This is who I am. No. In your formative years when you were growing up, you made a conscious decision to adopt a series of behaviors based on the people you were inspired by. That's what we do. When we're young, we model the people we're inspired by. So if you had a teacher who was really softly spoken and you were really inspired by that teacher, then you adopt those speaking behaviors without thinking twice. And then this becomes the way you speak for the remainder of your life. Maybe it's mum, maybe it's dad. And we never sit down to reevaluate whether these behaviors are now serving us or are they not serving us. Because again, we fall victim to the thinking that, oh, this is just my voice. This is just how I sound. I can't change anything about this. It's an illusion. You can change the way you sound because it's just a series of behaviors. It's the way you move your mouth. It's the way you move your tongue. It's the way you direct airflow. That's it. So please understand and do not get attached to this idea of this natural voice. No. What you have is not your natural voice. What you have right now is what's known as your habitual voice. It's a series of habits that you've gotten used to. You can change this. That unlocks a world of change for people because people get attached to this idea of a natural voice. It's not real. Stop fooling yourself. See the truth behind it. That's why I always say only practice leads to improvement. We live in a world now where people just want to learn, but they never apply the things they learn. Therefore, they never practice. Therefore, no improvement. Number three. Number three is very powerful because number three can answer hundreds and thousands of questions that you have about your communication skills. This one lesson will answer so many questions for you. I get questions on social media all the time. We've got more than 10 million followers from across all platforms. So when I look at all the different comments, I always see people say, hey Vin, when I talk, I put my hands in my pockets. Is that a problem, Vin? Vin, when I talk, I fold my arms. Vin, when I talk really quickly. Is that a problem, Vin? Vin, when I talk, sometimes I look away, then I look back, then I look away, then I look back, then I look away, then I look back, and I speak really quickly. Vin, is that a problem? Vin, sometimes when I talk, I walk around a lot. Vin, is that a problem? Is that a problem, Vin? Vin, is this a problem? Is that a problem? Is this a problem? You can use the golden rule to answer every single one of those questions. This lesson answers all of them, believe it or not. Write this down. Write this down. This is the golden rule. If it distracts people from the message, it's a problem. If it distracts people from the message, oh, it's a problem. It's a problem. You see, again, like I said to you, we live in a world now. We live in a world now where people are obsessed about knowledge acquisition. Another podcast, another book, another this, another that. They just keep acquiring more knowledge, but they never apply the knowledge. I'm going to show you the power of knowledge application. I'm going to get you to apply the golden rule right now. This is what we're going to do. So I'm going to play for you a video of one of my students. As you watch this video, apply the golden rule. What is this student of mine doing that's distracting you from the message? Let's apply the rule. Here we go.
So, me, the youngest student in the class by about a year and a half, and he looked out at the class and said, "Now, why do you guys think it was important that the signers of the Declaration addressed it to the king?" Reason I'm telling you all this is that it wound up being 4 years later, became jack of all trades, master of two.
Interesting, isn't it? Notice you applying the rule. When you apply the rule, this is you practicing the things you learn. This is what's already creating improvement. Most people, before they learn the golden rule, they don't even see the ums and the ahs. Look how many of you now started to notice the ums and the ahs. You applied the golden rule. So I remember when I showed this to my student, his name's Stuart. I remember getting him to come to the back of the stage because we recorded it. I said, "Stuart, come have a look. I want you to apply the golden rule on yourself, Stuart." And as Stuart watched the video, he kind of went, "Wait, what? No, hold on, Vin. What the frick? Vin, I was saying and ah every single 2 seconds. What the frick? I didn't even know I do this." And I remember sitting there going, how can you not know you do this? You did this every 2 to 3 seconds. And then I realized that as a teacher, I'd forgotten what it's like to be a beginner. But you see, what happens is this. When something becomes habitual, when you do something out of habit, what happens? It becomes invisible to you. You don't even know you're doing it. And that freaked him out. And there are non-functional behaviors that you're currently exhibiting that you're blind to because they've become habits. And then I remember asking Stuart, I said, "Stuart, so what would you do differently?" And Stuart just goes, well, golden rule, simple. I got to remove the ums and the ahs. Watch the transformation that happened within 5 minutes. This is Stuart applying the golden rule. And 5 minutes later, this is what he sounded like. Okay, you got this, this.
Sit at the edge of the table, notes next to him, and he posed the question to the class: why was it important that the framers of the Declaration of Independence, why was it important for them to address the Declaration to the king and not to Parliament? So I looked around the class, crickets, seniors and juniors looking up to the heavens above, trying to divine what the answer might be, and timidly raised my hand and said, because it was a revocation of everything it was to be British. He paused for a moment, looked at me, and said, "Exactly."
Boom, big round of applause. Wasn't that incredible? I mean, look at the way you're all reacting to him. Right? That's how the class was reacting to Stuart too. Everyone was like, "Whoa, this is amazing, this is incredible." And then I was standing there as a teacher going, "Ha, I'm the best teacher in the world. Stuart's about to praise me and probably give me a hug." And then while Stuart was walking towards me, I noticed him looking upset and pissed off and angry. And I kind of went, no, I thought you were going to give me a hug and say how good of a teacher I was. And I was like, what the hell, why are you angry? What the hell is going on? And then he walks up to me and he says, "Vin, I'm so pissed off. Vin, I'm so frustrated right now." And I said, "Stuart, why are you frustrated? That was amazing." And he said something that I'm never going to forget. He says, "Vin, for the last 6 years of my career, my managers have held me back in my position because they said to me, 'Stuart, you don't have enough credibility. Stuart, when you speak, there's no clarity. Stuart, when you speak, there's no authority. Stuart, you need to work on your leadership qualities.'" And for the longest time, I didn't even know what that meant, Vin, for goodness sake. And I just realized today that I've been held back in my career for 6 years because of these stupid ums and ahs. Stuart was so angry at this because a simple behavior robbed him of 6 years of career growth. And I quickly as a teacher just kind of thought, "Hey, Stuart, I know you're angry right now, but I want to remind you that at least it was only 6 years. At least it wasn't 10 years, 20 years, an entire lifetime." You see, this is the reality of just changing one small thing with your communication. People often don't realize that the smallest changes you make in your communication create absolute transformations when it comes to how people perceive you. Notice how all of you reacted after he just removed ums and ahs. Notice the way you all reacted. Wow, that's amazing. All these emojis came up. That is the same way people react to you when you make those changes. I want to ask you a question here right now. How many of you here, because be aware of this, okay? This is another painful point. There are so many non-functional behaviors that you currently have that's robbing you of opportunities right now. So my question to you is, do you want to know what your non-functional behaviors are? Do you want to know what they are? And I'm loving seeing the yeses come up. Good, because that's why I created the self-awareness assessment, the 5-step process that you're all getting a copy of. You see, it's a huge part of my vision to be able to help all of you understand these non-functional behaviors that's robbing you of so many opportunities in life. For those of you who stay with us to the end, you're all getting a copy of it. I got you. I got you. That's why we created that. Now, let me ask you this. We've got a bit more time, so I'm actually going to share with you another module. Let's keep going. Keep your pens out. Let's keep focusing on this. Think about this. When people come to me to learn communication skills, and I've taught over 1 million people this art form, let me ask you this question. What do you think people want more of when they're learning communication skills? They want more self what? Tell me, what do they want more of? Yes, everyone got it already, confidence. They want more self-confidence. See, we all want more confidence in life. We all want more confidence. Because when you are more confident, you're a better person. When you want more confident, you're a better son, better daughter. You're a better contributor to society when you're more confident. Would you agree with me that if you are more confident, you are better? Would you agree with this? I hope you will, and hopefully yes, people typing yes. So let's learn one of the most valuable lessons when it comes to self-confidence. And I believe the majority of people who speak on this, they've got it wrong. So let me share with you this. And I actually have to bring you back to when I was about 13. When I was 13, oh my goodness, it was a long time ago. When I was 13, I had one friend, and that friend of mine, his name was Kevin. And Kevin and I, we were both textbook losers, really textbook. Last ones to be picked on sports days. No one wanted to sit with us during lunch. You name it, we probably achieved it. So the thing is, Kevin and I went to year 8 camp. So when we were 13 years old, we went to camp together. Obviously, no one wanted to spend time with us in our cabin. So Kevin and I had a whole cabin to ourselves. Yay, more for us, right? And then what happened was Kevin and I, because we were never going to get a girlfriend at that point, we kind of made a blood pact and we said, Kevin, you and I will never have girls and never have girlfriends in our lives. We will stay single forever, brothers for life. So we made a pact. And then at this camp, sharing the cabin with Kevin, one night I walked back to the cabin and Kevin wasn't there. And then I started to panic. I thought to myself, where's Kevin? This is wrong. I need my only friend. So I started walking around all over the campsite looking for Kevin. And then finally, I walked up to the fire pit. And as I looked up, what I saw broke my heart. Kevin was sitting at the fire pit, playing his ukulele, talking to girls. Yes, it wasn't a mistake. It was plural. There's an S on girls. He was talking to girls. And I remember standing there thinking to myself, you bastard, you've betrayed me. So I kind of made this loud, and then I walked off, and then Kevin, being the dear friend he was at the time, he drops his ukulele. He runs after me. I walk faster because I'm thinking this is the ultimate form of betrayal. So I walk back to the cabin, and I go, you. So I didn't talk to him the whole night. I put the blanket over my head and just kind of went, don't talk to me, Kevin. And I went to bed angry for the first time in my life. Horrible feeling. I don't even know when I fell asleep. The next day I woke up. I looked across for Kevin and he wasn't there. You know, and that's when I realized, yep, there you go, Vin, you've lost it. Kevin's probably got kids now, is married, and you've lost your only friend. Now you have to spend the next few days at camp all by yourself. My greatest fear. And then that morning, I remember not even looking for Kevin because I was hopeless at that point. I walked into the area where we're having breakfast at camp. And this time when I looked up, what I saw confused the hell out of me. And I didn't understand what I saw for 10 years. But when I looked up, Kevin was sitting by himself on a table. And I was like, what? What the frick just happened? And it wasn't until I was in my 20s I understood the significance of this story. You see, when I was in my early 20s, I started to realize what that was. Because for the longest time, I was like, what the frick? How could you go from the most confident human being in the world to, again, back to loser brothers. How the hell did that happen? And then I learned about something called contextual confidence. Contextual confidence. Highlight contextual. You see, what I started to realize was that for Kevin, that night when he had the ukulele and he was playing the ukulele, in this particular context, he was confident. Why? Because he had mastered the instrument. He could play the ukulele beautifully, the classic Somewhere Over the Rainbow that got all the ladies. He was amazing at playing the ukulele. So in that context, of course, he was confident. But then the very next morning, because he left the ukulele in the cabin, in that context, when he was by himself, he was not contextually confident. So when I learned this, I went, that's what it is. This is such a profound thought that most people never come across. And then the same thing happened to me. The same thing happened to me. You know that I'm part magician. When I was in university, if I had my packet of cards, I could walk up to the prettiest girl in university and talk to her. No problems at all. And I'll never forget the day I changed a new school bag and then I forgot to bring my cards. I had a panic attack because I'm only confident with my cards, contextually confident. And that day when I went to university without my packet of cards, I had a panic attack and just went home. There were friends that have been friends with me for years, but because I didn't have my cards, I wasn't confident. I didn't even talk to them. I just went home. Look, if the lesson hasn't connected yet, I'm about to connect it for you, and this is one of the most critical lessons when it comes to confidence. Think about this now. As you've learned the last universal laws, the last 3 universal laws, as you improve your communication skills, let me ask you this question. If you master the way you use your voice, yes or no answer in the chat, please. If you master your ability to use your voice, is it possible for you to leave vocal mastery at home? Can you leave your vocal mastery at home? No, you can't. If you master your use of body language, are you able to leave your body language at home? No, you can't. If you master storytelling, if you master active listening, if you master your ability to communicate and you master this instrument, can you leave any of these abilities at home? So what does that mean? If you connect all of these dots together, what that simply means is, as you work on your communication skills, this is the one area of skill development that as you improve it, you become contextually confident in every single area of your life. You want the key to confidence? It's not you jumping out of a plane. It's not you going bungee jumping. While those things increase your adrenaline momentarily, they do nothing for long-term self-confidence. Whereas every time people want to be more self-confident, they go, oh, I'm just going to go do this thing that, makes me a little bit scared. That just increases momentary adrenaline, making you think you're more confident. But you're not. You just go back to your life and you just be normal again, back to what you were before, back to all the old habits. You want to create true change when it comes to your confidence, then you need to invest and work on your communication skills. This is one of the greatest keys to unlocking more self-confidence. Why? Because you cannot leave this skill at home. And here's the part that's crazy. If you start to work on this skill now, this skill will serve you for the remainder of your life. Sure, you can leave it for another 5 years. Then it will serve you from that point for the remainder of your life. Some people leave it too late. One of the saddest things I heard from one of my students, and it pains me to even share this, is that at the end of my class, he was my oldest student that came to my class, and it was in his early 70s. And he walked up to me at the end of the class and he said, Vin, I felt like I just learned how to dance and the party's nearly over. It was so bittersweet. I felt terrible and inspired all at the same time, and I just went, hey, it's okay, but at least you can still dance for another 20 years. Don't wait. Self-confidence will completely change your life. It makes you a better person and a better contributor to society. And the key to that is your communication skills. I know that if you're still here, this is something that's really important to you. And I want to share with you a future as you look to the future, because we did look to the past before, didn't we? But as you look to the future, imagine you can get to a point where you can walk into any job interview and you know that without a doubt, you're going to be able to build rapport and connection with the people interviewing you. Because you feel very confident now. Because in every context in your life, you are now more confident. That when you walk into that interview, they can feel the level of confidence that radiates from you. You are technically great at what you do, and now you're able to match that technical brilliance with you explaining why you deserve that job and why they should pick you. Imagine having that confidence walking into it. And then imagine what happens when you're able to communicate more effectively to unlock deeper relationships with the people you care about. People don't misunderstand you anymore. You're able to just move through difficult conversations, no problems at all, resolve things with ease. And imagine the impact you're going to have in the world. The people you love, when you communicate to them, you're able to help them. You're able to impact their lives because of your masterful communication skills. That's all possible and more. It's all possible and more because this is a set of learnable skills. I'm going to show you a video very soon how I used to talk 10 years ago, and you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. I'm going to share that with you in just a moment. But here's the reality of the situation. I know how most of you are going to learn communication skills. How do I know this? How do I know? Because this is how I learned communication skills when I started. So drop a silly face emoji if you can connect to this, okay? So this is what happens. At some point in our lives, we all think to ourselves, we go, hey, I probably should work on my communication skills. I probably should work on my communication skills. And this is what people do, okay? This is what people do. They go, okay, I'm gonna go to Google and I'm gonna type into Google how to improve communication skills. Then you get back 24.6 million results, and then you go, okay, that's too overwhelming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to YouTube, and hopefully someone on YouTube has summarized all of the lessons for me in a 2-minute video. So then you watch the videos, and you watch one video, talks about storytelling for 2 minutes, and another one talks about voice for 2 minutes, another one talks about body language for 9. And you kind of go, okay, I don't really know where to start. I'm a bit confused with all of this. Okay, so then you don't end up applying anything. And then after that, what do? You obviously turn on Game of Thrones for the 5th time, and you watch Game of Thrones. And you kind of go, well, this is a good series. Of course, I should watch it again because I can see all the insider secrets that you missed the first time round. You totally forget about improving your communication skills. And then what happens after that? The classic 3 months later. You go to a job and then job interview and you realize you don't get the job interview. So you go, oh, yeah, I need to work on my communication skills. So then what you do is you go to Google and then you type in how do I improve my communication skills? And then after that, you get 26.4 million results. And you kind of go, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to go through 26.4 million pages. I'm going to go to YouTube. Hopefully someone has summarized this in 2 minutes so I can learn it straight away. You get the same videos and then you start to forget, wait, did I watch that one already? Maybe I haven't. You click it and then you realize you have watched it already. And then again, you start to feel confused because you go, well, where do I start with this? Is it body language? Is it voice? What do I do with voice? Feel overwhelmed. And then you go, you know what? I'm not going to work on it right now. I'm not going to do anything. And then you go, obviously, watch Lord of the Rings because it's the greatest series ever. And this cycle continues on and on and on and on. I know this happens. That's why in the beginning when I asked you, how many years have you allowed a lack of communication skills to hold you back? Did you see the number of years that people left? The single reason why people say 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years or more is because of this spiral of doom. We just keep going down that spiral and we do nothing about it, and then as a result, nothing changes month after month, year after year. And if you pay attention, if you haven't changed the way you communicated in the last 10 years, this is why it happens. You see, it shouldn't have taken me 20 years to learn how to communicate more effectively. It should have taken me 12 months. It shouldn't have taken that long, but it's, again, a flaw in the system that we live in. The system that we live in, think about all your years during school. Think about all your years during high school and university. Do they teach you communication skills? No. No, they don't. Do they teach you this in your workspace? No. Maybe they attribute 1 day for it in high school a year, 1 day for it a year in your work life. They never focus on this skill set, yet it's one of the most critical skill sets and the most highly valued skill set in the world. It's flawed, it's broken. It's broken. And for me to go on this journey, I've had to have mentors. And if you're like me and you also need mentors to guide you on this journey, to avoid that death spiral, then that's why I'm here. I've dedicated my life to teaching this. And I've created 3-stage programs that I want to share with you. I run these masterclasses because every single month I have hundreds of thousands of people who join me from social media all around the world. I run these classes to give you a sense of what it's like to learn with me. And for those of you who choose and are ready to take the next step, then I want to share with you the programs that I have, because I don't normally talk about this on social media at all. So I want to share with you the 3 different programs that I have. The first one I have is what I call the Stage Academy. Now, the Stage Academy is my online course. We're giving 3 copies of this away momentarily. So my Stage Academy, so it's clear to you all, this is my online course where I have over 120 videos of lessons in there. That's over 12 hours of content, 8 modules, and I updated it 4 times in 2023. All the updates are free for all of my students, and you get lifetime access. You see, the thing I love most about this online course of mine is that it's not just me standing on screen teaching you. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in recording every single one of my live workshops. So my live workshops, if you ever wanted to join me in person, they're over $4,000 to $5,000 a ticket. But what I do is I record every single workshop that I do from multiple angles to show you my students struggling, to show you them developing the skill, to show you them, again, having difficulty with something, learning the coaching, and then succeeding with it. That's the power of seeing real life examples. So we do this at every single one of our classes. So I've recorded hundreds of different in-person workshops. And as I recorded those in-person workshops, I update the online course. You invest once, and as I learn more, I update the online course so you learn more. The online course is a living beast. It's not something that stays stagnant for years. No, we update it more than 4 times a year. We're about to do a major update in a week. And I want to share with you what some of my students have to say about my online course, the Stage Academy. Check this out. I feel so blessed to have such wonderful students who say such lovely things. You've completed the Stage Academy.
Awesome!
Oh my God, I can't begin to explain to you how important this course could be for you.
He just shows everything in a very fun and engaging way.
This has changed my life.
I kind of binged it because Vinh was amazing.
My career is going to absolutely take off because of this.
Easily understandable.
It was amazing, an amazing experience.
And I'm already feeling more confident.
My mind has been blown.
Do it. You'll thank me later.
Fucking do it. Nothing else to it.
No, that one always makes me laugh. I love this. My student's name is Alex. He's so kind. But you see, that's the online course. You can learn from that anywhere in the world. You can access it anytime. Now there's my second stage program. My second stage program is something I call Stage Virtual. This is different to Stage Academy. Stage Virtual is where you join me on Zoom live with real students from all over the world. Now let me talk you through it. It's 5 times 2.5 hour live sessions with me on Zoom. This is time dedicated to practice. So if you learn about body language, we practice body language in the breakout rooms in groups of 3 or 4. If you learn about active listening, we practice it. If we learn about vocal mastery, we practice it. All the recordings are available for students. This is known as knowledge application. So you go to Stage Academy, the online course, to learn. Then you join me for a full week of Stage Virtual Masterclass where you apply. One of the main reasons why people never see change in their communication skills, remember the universal law, you already know this, is because they never practice. The Stage Virtual Masterclass is a safe environment with other like-minded individuals from all over the world, and we practice together. That's where you sharpen the axe. That's where you get more confident, practice storytelling. And then, again, just in case you're wondering, I've got Stage Virtual Masterclasses all throughout the year. I run them all throughout the year into next year, 2025. There's definitely going to be a time that suits you. And here are some of my students talking about the live experience. Check this out.
I signed up for the 5-day live stage virtual masterclass. It was terrifying and thrilling.
What an incredible 5-day journey that was.
Blending magic and communication.
Life-changing.
So engaging.
So informative.
I am just a different person.
And it just shows you what is possible in a virtual environment.
And a lot of us came out laughing on the other side.
It felt like you were sitting in an auditorium with him and he could literally see you.
Everything is just really fun.
It will pay dividends for the rest of your life.
Oh, I feel so grateful again, such kind students. And you see, remember, I want to tell you the reason why I first of all have these 2 programs, just in case you missed this, because there are so many people who teach online who don't take this into consideration. And I want to share it with you. I've thought about this. The Stage Academy is for what? The Stage Academy is for knowledge acquisition. The Stage Virtual is for what? What is the Stage Virtual for? It's for knowledge application. That's when we create change. That's when you truly see a difference in your communication skills. And there's one final stage program that I have, and I'm most likely not going to offer this publicly ever again after this, only because, again, we're getting to capacity now. But what I have next is my stage sessions. And stage sessions is where you join me every single month for the remainder of this year on a Q&A call. And you join me with a group of other students where, what is this for? This is for accountability and inspiration. So that basically means, you will be spending an entire year with me. And as you've noticed, we run a couple of Q&A sessions before already. So just last month in February, we ran a Q&A session dedicated to a behind-the-scenes view of my studio, talk through all the different gear, and I show you how this studio of mine has actually generated more than $20 million worth of revenue. This studio. So I walk you through all of the gear in here, walk you through the behind the scenes, and then in January, we talk through all the common issues that occur with communication that, again, people wanted to deep dive into. That's what stage sessions is for. And I put all of these things together because I truly believe in this lesson. And the lesson that I believe in is this. You are the direct reflection of the top 5 people you spend time with. Think about that. You are the direct reflection of the top 5 people you spend time with. And I created this so that I can be a part of your top 5. And I believe that if I'm a part of your top 5, it is inevitable that you are going to improve your communication skills. It is inevitable. That's why I've designed it the way I have designed it. To create all of my stage programs, I've invested over $250,000 into my own learning. I've learned from vocal experts. I've done theater training. I've gone to so many vocal classes. I've done workshops. I've read so many damn books, it makes my brain hurt. I've distilled all of this information and I've put it into my stage programs for you. It shouldn't have taken me 20 years to learn all of this. It should have taken me 12 months. That was the inspiration behind creating the stage programs. There's a future version of you right now that you may not be able to see. The you that I'm talking to right now is the future version of you. It does exist. There is a future version of you that is able to communicate effectively and masterfully, where you're able to walk into any room and command attention when you need it and switch it off when you don't. It's absolutely possible, that future you. And that's the future you that I'm literally fighting for right now. This is a set of learnable skills that anybody can learn. And I never share this on my social media. I'm only sharing this here with those of you who are currently here live. And this is what I'm going to share with you. What I'm going to share with you is, remember, with my Stage Academy, and we're giving away 3 copies of this in a moment, with my Stage Academy, if you just found me online, that costs $997 USD to join my online course. Then if you join me on Stage Virtual, that's $1,299. And then if you wanted to join me for a full year, a mastermind with me, that's worth $4,000. And remember, the reason I have these strategically placed is because Stage Academy leads to knowledge acquisition. We learn. Then the Knowledge Virtual Masterclass is knowledge application. Then Stage Sessions, accountability. When my corporate clients want this package and they want to put their team members through it, all together, I charge more than $6,000 a person for that year program. Whereas I know all of you at this point, I'm not charging you $6,000 for this. For those of you who are ready to take the next step and you do choose that I'm the right teacher for you, I have one offer for you right now for $899. And you can join me in the Stage Academy, my online course. You get lifetime access to that. You can join me for Stage Virtual, which is a whole week with me. And then you get to join me every single month to the end of this year for Stage Sessions, where we deep dive into it. With Stage Sessions, I'm even going to bring in vocal experts to help us learn more about voice. I'll try my best. There's a hostage negotiator I want to bring into our Stage Sessions to teach us more about negotiation. There's so many different things I want to do here. And I want you all to know something here. For those of you who are interested in joining, I want to walk you through how the process works, okay? So I'm just going to switch computers to show you exactly how it works. So join me over here. Getting a little bit fancy now, but as you will join me over here, I want to share with you something. So if I bring up screen share just for a moment, there's a link that Dan has just dropped in chat. When you click that link, it takes you to here. I don't ever share this publicly. This is only a private link. Only those of you who are here live right now have access to. That link takes you to the Stage Bundle page where you can join me for Stage Academy, Stage Virtual, and the Stage Sessions. We have the deal there. We also got the full curriculum, so you can see the full curriculum of what you're going to learn. See some lovely stage testimonials. Then the reason I'm here is I wanted to point to you this right here, the 30-day money-back guarantee. The reason I have this is because I used to feel really bad. I was like, oh, I shouldn't do this because if people don't like my course, what happens? But what makes me feel better is that if you join the Stage Bundle and you consume less than 25% of my course and you go, oh, you know what, Vin's not really the right teacher for me, then I don't want your money. I don't want anything to do with that. I just want to refund you your money and we go on our separate ways. So I want to make this risk-free, right? If I'm not the right teacher for you, then I shouldn't get you to invest in it. That's why I have the 30-day money-back guarantee. Then sometimes people have the next questions where they say, oh, Vin, that Stage Virtual Masterclass, well, when is it? Well, here, if you click this FAQ section and you click this tab here where it says more info on the Stage Masterclasses, you'll see these are all the different times in which I run the Stage Virtual Masterclasses. So I've got a class in April, June, July, September, October, and my team have made it all fancy so that you see it in Adelaide time, which is my time, and then you'll see it automatically be converted to your time. Keep in mind, these classes are 5 consecutive days. This shows you the time for the first day, and then it's the same time 5 days consecutively. Right, so you can see all of that there, all already converted into your time. And then again, some people ask, well, what's the difference between Stage Academy and Stage Virtual? Remember, Stage Academy is the online course where you go to learn knowledge acquisition. The Stage Virtual is where you join me live with hundreds of other students from around the world, and we apply the lessons you learn. You learn about how to make your voice sound deeper. We practice that very skill. And then, Vin, what if I miss a day of the virtual masterclass? What if I miss a day? That's okay. We normally put up the recordings within 2 to 4 hours. No problems at all. And you've got live access to those recordings too. And Vin, do I need to finish the Stage Academy before I come to Stage Virtual Masterclass? Nope. You just need to go through at least module 1. That's all we ask. And then again, how long do I get access to the Stage Academy and Stage Virtual? It's lifetime access. So I wanted to make that really clear for you there. And basically, if you look down here, this is where you can join if you choose to join me. And what I want you to know as well is with this particular opportunity, this is up for the next couple of hours if you do choose to join me. And Dan has left that link there. And the reason we close it after a couple of hours is because in each one of the Stage Virtual classes, we can only have a maximum number of students, which we don't want to go over to maintain your experience. So look, we're keeping this open. I'm going to jump back to the other screen as I stop screen sharing here. Okay, I'm jumping back to the other side. All right. Now, look, I wanted to share all of this with you so you can make an informed decision. Is Vin the right teacher for me? And if I'm the right teacher for you, I'd love to have you join us. I'm super excited, Dan. Dan, do we have a couple of people who potentially have joined us? Dan's keeping track of the people who are jumping on board and joining us. And then, Dan, we're going to celebrate some of those people as you join. So good to see you, Ryan. Oh, hey, by the way, curious, for those of you who have made the decision to join, drop a fire emoji so we know that you're going to be joining us for the all of 2024 for the rest of the year. So this is amazing. Now, I want to share with you a little bit extra because a lot of you, look, so many people have joined us already. This is amazing. Thank you. I can't wait to spend time together. You can't help it now, but I'm going to be a part of your top 5. I do apologize. I'm going to be there for the whole year. But some of you I know are still thinking. You're thinking to yourself, Vin, could you talk through what you teach? We kind of want to know a little more about what you teach. And I'd love to walk you through all the different modules and continue with a little bit of teaching here. You see, in module 1, what I teach there is, here it's less about teaching. I'm actually getting you to do a bit of due diligence because in module 1, I share with you my $100,000 keynote. And why do I share with you my $100,000 keynote? This is a professional recording of me doing this 1.5-hour presentation. The reason I get you to watch this first is, before you choose to learn with me, make sure that I'm good at the very thing that I claim to be good at. I find that in the world we live in today, there are so many people who say they're good at something and they teach that something, but they're not good at that thing. So you have to do that first. So the reason we put that there is, and we don't have this video accessible anywhere else. So when you join, you can look at that and go, does Vin walk the talk? Does he walk the walk and talk the talk? And that's where you can make the decision. Okay, this is who I want to learn from. This is where you can check to make sure the proof is in the pudding. So that's again for due diligence in case you go, oh, Vin, you suck at this. I'm way better than you. So I'm going to ask for a refund. Sure. That's where you can make that decision. Module 2. Here's where we learn about the basics. The basics. Now, the basics is us going deeper into the universal laws. There are more universal laws that we deep dive into. We talk about the importance of visual image, your body language and how you look, how you dress, how you appear. We talk about the importance of vocal image, the qualities of your voice and the different sounds you can make. We deep dive into the basics because before we start to develop more of the advanced skills, we need to set a really strong foundation. That's what we're doing in module 2. Now, when it comes to the next module, I created module 3 for a very particular reason. Because one of the most common questions people ask is it possible for me to change the way I sound? Module 3 is dedicated to just that module, which is vocal mastery. Vocal mastery. This is where we deep dive into all the different different ways in which we can use our voice and change the qualities of how we sound. We dive into each one of the 5 core foundations. And let me share with you this analogy here. And I love this analogy when I came across it, and I want to share it with you. I see people as musicians, even if you don't play an instrument, because you have access to an instrument in your body and it's your voice. So I see musicians who play like a noob, and I see musicians who play masterfully. And I want to show you this analogy in music form. This is a video of someone playing piano who doesn't play very well. So have a look at this. Oh, okay, you see this? You see this? And that's what I see when I see certain people not use their instrument. I'm like, you've got more than 88 keys. How come you're not using your voice? How come you're not using this instrument? So I sometimes see people do this. And then as I've designed this particular module 3, it's so that when you leave, metaphorically, you can do something like this. That's the power. That's the power of vocal mastery, right? And I showed you that in a music form, and Dan's waving me down right now. We just quickly got to celebrate this. Hey, I just want to quickly do a quick shout out to Jessica Javille111. I believe that's your name. Javille, these are the people who've just joined us as well. So thank you so much for joining. We've got Robin, Kang Nguyen, Vietnamese in the house. We've got Raymond Mundo. We've got Bennett. We've got Pansura, Eric, Shilpa, AJ, Newman, Danielle, Perilyn and Shane. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, look, I can't wait to spend the next rest of 2024 together. This is super exciting. And if you've joined and we didn't acknowledge you, drop a fire emoji. Let us know that you're a part of the Stage Academy moving forward. I'm so excited to have you. But look, what I really want to call out right now too, I want to call out this thing here, is that you saw the example of someone who's not very good at piano playing, and then you saw someone who played the piano masterfully. I'm going to show you the transformation with voice. I'm not just going to use that metaphor. I'm going to show you what happens with voice now. Here's one of my students when they don't really use their instrument, when they haven't learned how to use their instrument. Watch the before video and then watch the after video. And this is just them changing one behavior, one foundational quality when it comes to vocal mastery. Watch the before and after. It will shock you.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty world. I don't care how tough you are. You'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna get hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you're hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you are worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that. And that ain't you. You're better than that. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean place and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, nobody's gonna get hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you're hit.
Give me some quiet now.
It's about how hard you get hit, and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying that you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or not anybody. Cowards do that. And that ain't you. You are better than that.
Oh, did you see how powerful that was? I love this example so much. There's a life before you learn communication skills, and then there's a life after. You see, for the longest time, that particular student of mine, he told me, I would go through life and I was invisible. I'd go through life and people don't notice the ideas that I share. I would go through life and continue to miss out on opportunities. Not anymore, baby. Not once you learn the 5 core vocal foundations on how you can change the way you sound. That was him implementing one of the 5 lessons. Imagine what's possible when you combine all 5 together. You see the next module, module 4. Oh, okay, we did a shoot over from Dan. Again, just celebrating. And the reason we celebrate this, because it takes a lot of courage for people to step out of their comfort zones. And I just want to congratulate these people there. Thank you, Dan. We've got Brian R. Fernando. Thank you for being a part of the Stage Academy. We've got Natasha, Eaton, Andre. We've got Arthur, Folston, David, Victor, Brian, Pamela. We've got BSQ Murphy. Hello, BSQ Murphy. And we've got Diane as well, Diane T. Thank you so much for being a part of the stage programs. Do you know my name for my students that I use? I use the word luminaries because my stage program is the stage. Luminaries is a word they use for actors and actresses, but luminaries have a double meaning. Luminaries also mean light. So my students who learn the art of communication, you're going to be a light that's going to make this world brighter and a better place. So to all my new luminaries, thank you for being a part of the stage program. I cannot wait to serve you in 2024. Back to this. Thank you, Dan. Thanks for disrupting my teaching, as always. But you see, in Module 4, the reason I created this module, and again, I'm sharing this because so many of my students who are with me, they kind of go, Vin, I want to know what you teach before I can make a decision. So share with me what you teach. So Module 4 is to answer the question, Vin, how can I become more dynamic? And how can I increase my level of authority? How do I do this? Well, that's when we learn vocal archetypes. Vocal archetypes. And vocal archetypes are the different characters that exist within you. Oh, that's right. Most people have never come across this concept. But there are different versions of you. Think about this. When you're angry, there's an angry version of you, and that version of you sounds different. There's an inspired version of you, and when you're inspired, you sound different. There's a loving side of you. When you're really in love with someone, it changes your vocal qualities. So we deep dive into all the different characters that exist within our voice, and we learn to harness those qualities. We learn to harness those qualities. And again, this is one of the competitive advantages because most people don't even think about the archetypes that exist within them. Module 5. The reason we create Module 5 is because people say, Vin, how do I become more influential? I got you. That's Module 5. How you become more influential? That's storytelling. Storytelling. And don't think storytelling is weak. This is hands down one of the most powerful modules in the Stage Academy. And I'm going to tell you why it's so powerful. And I'm going to prove something to you. Let me ask you all a couple of questions. I'm going to get you to tell me in the chat. One of the main reasons why people feel connected to you is because you storytell. And when you storytell effectively with the right formula, people remember the things you say and they can't forget them. And the more memory space in their head that you take up from storytelling, the more connected to you they feel. I'm going to blow your mind with this now. Answer me in the chat. I told you a story over an hour and a half ago. And in that story was a story about my mum and my dad and me. I was in the lounge room. Which room did my parents go to in the house? I was in the lounge room, which, yes, look at this, everyone's typing kitchen. Isn't this crazy? I mentioned that once. And because I used the right storytelling formula, I'm taking up space in your head, hence why you feel a sense of connection with me. Another question. In my university degree, how many months did I have left before I said I'm quitting? How many months? 6! Look how many people are getting this correct. You look for yourself. Look in the chat. You look in the chat yourself to validate this for yourself. And then let me ask you another question here, right? Another question I'm going to ask you is, my dad said to me, son, in this life, I want you to jump as high as you can. I'll forever be your what? Look at the chat. Case closed. Case closed. Look how many thousands of people remembered what I said. So let me ask you another question here now. Let me ask you this question. Now, answer honestly. It's okay. I can handle the truth. How many of you here feel a sense of connection with me? Type yes or no. How many of you feel a sense of connection with me? Look at this. There are some people that type no, and that's okay. But I'm able to build a sense of connection with 99% of people. Why? Because I storytell. And when you start to storytell with people, you start to develop deeper connections. Once you have these deeper connections, do you know what that means? They give you permission to influence them. It's not about learning all these hacks and tricks to manipulate and influence people. No. It's about storytelling and building authentic relationships and then building deep connections, which then give us the permission to be able to influence others. Let's do it authentically. And that's what I do in here. We deep dive into storytelling. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I lived in America for 5 years, and I was there because I wanted to improve my learning process before I started teaching all of this. I learned from some of the best people in America, one of which is he's one of the biggest producers in Hollywood. His name is Brian Grazer. And if you don't know Brian, you might know some of the movies he's produced. His movies have netted over $1 billion. And I wanted to learn how to storytell from the world's best. I didn't just go to my local club. No, I went to the world's best to try to learn before I teach you. So I want to share with you this clip of Brian's storytelling. Look how good he is at storytelling. And then you might be able to see where I learned my ability to storytell from. This is me and Brian on stage. Check it out.
O2.
Look, let's have a little bit of fun. I just want to rapid fire some questions at you. You've done amazing.
Okay.
First question, Brian, your biggest movie failure.
Okay, on Apollo 13, we're going to the Oscars.
Yes.
And everyone says, you're going to win the Oscar. You're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win. I'm thinking we're going to win. I'm sitting at the aisle right here, 5 rows from Sidney Poitier, who's got the envelope in his hand. Oh. Literally. Right next to me is Ron Howard, then Jim Lovell, then Tom Hanks. And what happens is, I'm thinking we're going to win because everybody told us we're going to win. I got my speech right there.
Oh, no.
And as Sidney Poitier opens the envelope, I see him pull it out, and he's got a bee rolling off his lip, almost imperceptible. So when I see the bee, I get up.
Oh no!
To win the Oscar.
Oh, that's so bad.
And as I approach, they say Braveheart.
Oh.
And so I just about crawl back to my seat. I'm so I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed that I actually, everything is going in slow motion. I see one of my friends that ran a different studio. He puts a big L, like loser, on his. He did that on his. He literally did.
That's someone you unfriend from Facebook for sure.
So then, that was not good. So then I sit down. I'm so embarrassed because the camera was on me the entire time.
Oh.
And I got the L in my mind. Everything's going down. It's bad. I look over. Jim Lovell grabs my wrist like this, and he goes, "I never made it to the moon either." Oh. And I thought, I put it in perspective. So that was a huge bummer.
Wow, that's that is.
Yeah, that's better than talking about the flops, man.
Yeah. Oh, you should have just pretended you were going to the toilet. You just like, no, I'm just going to the toilet. What the hell? He's just, Brian.
I should have known you.
Well,
I would have had the idea.
We could have totally segued.
I know.
And you could have just went, no, the bathroom. Yeah.
All right, I'll go faster on the next one. Okay.
I love that one, though.
All right, okay.
That's a massive failure, for sure. No, I feel like... Probably should have said that. But you see, I showed you this because see how great of a storyteller he is. These people in Hollywood are incredible storytellers. So what I knew as a teacher is that I wanted to learn from the world's best. I didn't just want to learn again from people in my neighborhood. I wanted to go and find the best at this skill set and learn from them. And I've taken all of the lessons in storytelling. Spent 5 years in the US to deepen my skill in this. And Brian, again, we've taken the lessons and put them inside the Stage Academy, especially when it comes to storytelling. See how captivating he was? Oh, it's all a set of learnable skills, baby. You can learn it too. So can we all. And Dan's pointing me to the screen again. Okay, Dan, I know. Celebrating the students who have joined us, by the way. So to celebrate you all, we've got Sajida, we've got Subhendra, Tatiana, we've got Kim, N. Kelly, Ryder, Flo. Oh, Ryder Flo, I like that. We've also got Amanda, Crystal, we've got Nyung. I can recognize the Vietnamese names. We've got Salim, Alex, we've got Rustan Koo, we've got Jason, Brian. Like I said, I'm in your top 5 now, whether you like it or not. I mean, you can get a refund if you want to within 30 days. But again, hopefully you don't. I'm a part of your top 5. I can't wait for us to spend this year together. I promise you that with the accountability, with the knowledge application and the knowledge acquisition, your communications will change in 2024. And they will not be the same moving forward. So big celebrations for those students. Oh, mic issue. Okay, I'm coming back. So Dan, come back, mic issue. Again, not sure what happens. And back. Hopefully the mic is back again. Yay for live. Look at that. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know, everyone. Everyone on mic check is amazing. All right, now, next, Module 6. I'm just going to explain a few more modules, and then we're going to pick the winners. Module 6. This is for my students when they say to me, Vin, how do I improve my presence? How do I get people to take me more seriously? You know, Vin, when I talk, people keep interrupting me. When I talk, people always talk all over me. How do I improve executive presence? How do I have more authority? How do I have more of this? I got you. That's what Module 6 is for. Module 6 is body language. And you know, body language is one of the most critical languages that we all need to learn. But it's so easy for us to negate this. Because again, most people don't understand the foundations to their posture, the foundations to hand gestures, advanced hand gestures, to eye contact, to also I said eye contact already, but again, facial expressions and movement. How should I move? People don't know how to use the space that's been given to them. So in the body language module, we deep dive into this. We deep dive into micro behaviors. I'm going to show you one right now to continue a bit of teaching. You see, as a speaker, all right, as I was studying this craft of communication, I was not just studying it, I was applying it by doing speeches all around the world because I wanted to get really good at this thing before I taught it. And I remember for the longest time as I was giving speeches, I didn't get a standing ovation. And the standing ovation is this epic thing that you get as a speaker. So after 2 years of doing this pretty well, I said to my mentors, how come I'm not getting any standing ovations? And my theater coaches said to me, oh, it's simple, Vin. To get a standing ovation requires you to do one hand gesture, just one, and you haven't learned the secret yet. Watch these videos very carefully. Watch what I do with my hands. Good luck. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, my friends. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Oh, did you notice it? If you don't notice it, you missed it. I'll show you again. Watch my hand gestures very closely. Again, just going to show you, because I've applied these things before I teach you thousands of times. Watch it in super slow motion. Oh, did you see this? Look, this is what I did, okay, we'll deep dive into this. So what I do at the end of my talk is I take a bow, and then when I look up, I lock eyes with the person in the front row. Very important, it's the person in the front row. So I lock eyes with them, and then I just do this. And then the person in the front row sees me looking at them, they go, oh God. Then they stand, and the reason you do it to the person in the front row is then because every single person after that behind them sees them stand, then also feels that immense pressure to stand. The influence is undeniable, and then you get your thundering standing ovation. That, my friends, is how you execute a standing ovation. And you see, if I can use hand gestures to influence a room with 7,500 people, imagine what happens when you learn and master hand gestures in your everyday conversations. You want more presence? You want more influence? You want more authority? Module 5, baby. Or should I say Module 6? Oh, thank you, Dan. Thank you. Okay, Dan, we're just going to quickly celebrate one more, and then we're going to get through our modules. But again, to all the students, we're kind of shocked here at the Stage HQ because so many people have joined us, and I want to voice your names for your courage. We've got Jay Dion, we've got Shatikwa, Ashi. Hey, that's the name of your son. We've also got Yuawok, we've got Feng, we've got Stus, we've got Lena, Tahong, Marco, Zaipat, Destiny Tors, Islazar, we've got VJ, Julie K, Ansley, and BM Harrington. BM Harrington. Hello, BM Harrington, as I mispronounce many of your names. Apologies in advance. We're doing this very quickly. Thank you for all the streamers, Dan. Thank you, it's lovely. One more, Dan, one more streamers. Drop one more. Lovely. Now, as we continue, Module 7. Module 7. The reason I created Module 7 is simply because I get this all the time. My students say, Vin, what I talk about is so boring. What I talk about at work is so dry. I'm in accounting. Vin, I'm in engineering. Everything I talk about is just so boring. How do I add more life to when I speak? I got you. Here's how to make your conversations more exciting, more riveting, and more vivid. It's called AMS. And AMS stands for analogies, metaphors, and similes. A lot of the time when people are in technical jobs and technical roles, their form of communication tends to be filled with jargon, and it sounds very complicated and boring. This is how I used to communicate my communication programs to Fortune 500 companies, right? I'm one of the main trainers in Microsoft. I'm one of the main trainers in many of the big accounting firms. And when I used to pitch to my clients, this is how I used to pitch. So it's a 2-day workshop. This is how I would pitch, okay? Overly complicated, terrible, because I didn't know how to use AMS. So this is what I'll do. Oh, you'd like to learn more about my programs? Easy. You know, on day one, we talk about the different vocal components of the human voice. We go into vocal foundations. And a lot of the times when people don't learn about vocal foundations, then they're unaware of vocal archetypes. And because they're unaware of the different vocal archetypes that can exhibit different characters and create different emotions and feelings, people are then not able to amplify the best parts of who they are. And after I finish like a 5-minute rant, my clients are like, right? They're just going, I don't even know what that means. Whereas now I've learned to use analogies, metaphors, and similes. So when they ask me, Vin, what are you going to do over the 2 days? I use an analogy, a metaphor, and a simile, and I just say this. Susan, on day one, I'm going to teach all of your team members how to use their instrument, the human voice, how they can use their instrument to be more engaging and capture people's attention. After we learn how to use the instrument, Susan, on day 2, we're going to learn how to write great music. And Susan, that's storytelling. So if we can teach them how to write great music and play their instrument, we're going to be able to win the hearts and the minds of their clients. And then Susan goes, Vin, that sounds amazing. Vin, that sounds so good. And then I sent her a PDF with all of the different modules that I teach and all of the complexities and technical jargon. It exists in the PDF. I think I need to start a movement, and I need to create a shirt that says, #don't be the PDF. So many people, when they communicate, they become the PDF. And they go, let me take you back to 1983 when we first started our organization. And here we believe in integrity. No one cares about this. You've got to learn how to use AMS, and this adds more life into what you talk about. It makes what you talk about more simple, easier to digest, and then you can send them the PDF. #don't be the PDF. Now, Module 8. Module 8, the reason for Module 8 is simply because my students ask me, Vin, how do I create deeper connections with the people that I care about? Well, you want to form deeper connections? You need this Module 8 here, which is active listening. Active listening is critical if you want to deepen the connections with those around you. I'm going to show you one of the lessons from the Stage Academy. And the reason I'm playing you this video is because I want to show you that inside the Stage Academy, we believe in having fun. If you go into this online course, it's not me standing in front of a screen for the whole time, for goodness sake, going, lesson 1. As we go into lesson 1 and we learn about active listening, we are going, no. I use my communication skills throughout, and we do fun things like this that I'm about to share with you. Now, when you watch this next video, to give you a bit of context, this is about passive listening. Passive listening is one of the worst things we all do. We all do it. And this is one of the forms of passive listening. And this is the video I create to demonstrate it. Check this out.
So Vin, I'm really thinking about becoming a professional archer and joining the Olympics.
Oh man, there's no way you're going to be able to become a professional archer. How are you going to make a living? How are you going to pay your bills? You're just going to try and then fail miserably and then come back and work for me as a videographer anyway.
Your time. So that's what I'm thinking about, and I'm really excited for it.
You should not become a professional archer. That sounds like a terrible idea, Craig. Oh my goodness. Look, we believe in fun here at the Stage Academy, Stage Virtual and Stage Sessions. We are only here for a limited amount of time. If learning is not going to be fun, I'm not going to do it. I'm serious. If learning is not fun, I'm not doing it. So I fundamentally believe in learning, and I fundamentally believe in having fun while learning. So again, we deep dive into active listening. And then for Module 9, this module is really to answer this question here. Vin, I've got a shaky voice. Vin, I forget what I'm going to say all the time. Vin, how do I remember my whole presentation? Vin, how do I get better at job interviews? Hey, that's Module 9. And that's where we talk about nerves. Talk about nerves. How to deal with nerves. So often when people go to a job interview, the reason they miss out on the job is not because they're not capable. It's because they didn't know how to manage their nerves. And then as a result, their nerves took over and it robbed them of the opportunity. So we deep dive with many techniques on how to manage your nerves so that you're able to give the best version of you. The largest audience I've ever spoken to was over 45,000 people. And I have learnt all of the different techniques to be able to manage my nerves because it was one of the scariest things I've ever done. So we deep dive into that in module 9. And the final module here, my friends, and I say it's the final module, but it not really is the final because we add new modules all the time. We just added a whole new module called coaching, which has over 1.5 hours worth of content. But module 10, this is to answer the question, Vin, you talked about confidence in the masterclass. I want to know how to become more confident. All right, let's deep dive into confidence. So we've got a whole module dedicated towards this that you experience in the Stage Virtual Masterclass. So when you join me for that, you get to practice confidence. And there are so many key skill sets with self-confidence that people never connect. Again, people do those little things of I'm going to wear a loud shirt, I'm going to go bungee jumping. That just gives you momentarily adrenaline, not long-lasting confidence. We add to the Stage Academy every single quarter. We add new lessons as I learn them. And especially in stage sessions, where you join me for the Q&As all throughout the year, when you join me for those, I'm bringing different experts on. And as I bring different experts on, we take those lessons, we update the Stage Academy. It's an online course that grows as you grow. And it grows as I grow. Makes sense, right? All right. Now, big celebration. Okay, thank you, Dan. We've got these people over here. We've got Carmel Paing, we've got M. Roche, we've got DC Respro, we've got D. Stanley, Kevin, Harry, QMUE, we've got Miguel, we've got Shannon, Tommy, we've got Prasad, Hong, and Karen. Hey, this is going to be fun. This is going to be so fun. Do you know what we're doing in the March Q&A? In the March stage sessions, Dan is actually running a 20-minute section on psychology. Dan is a full-blown psychologist. He used to work with the special forces in Australia, and he's going to give us 20 minutes of how we can battle the nerves, how we can become more resilient. So that was a really popular requested session, so Dan's actually going to be running that. Over 15 plus years of experience, he's going to help us update our operating system. It's super fun. So you learn from me, but you also learn from Dan and many other cool peeps. And if you've joined, but we didn't call you out, drop a fire emoji so we know exactly those of you who have joined. I want to call out some names here as I see a fire emoji. All right. Oh, we've got people here. We've got, it went too quickly. Sonia, we've got Sonia, we've got Sarah, we've got Eric just joined. Thank you, Eric. So good to have you all. This is wonderful. Now, here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. I've got a question for all of you. And then we're picking the winners. Here's the question. How much does a phone cost? A mobile phone. How much does a mobile phone cost? Tell me in the chat. How much does a mobile phone cost? Okay, about $1,200, $700, okay, $900, interesting. I got the Pro Max version, so it's about $1,400. Okay, now let me ask you this question. Let's say it's $1,400, okay, a phone. Is that the true cost of a mobile phone? Is that the true cost? Is the true cost of it only $1,400? No. No, it's not. It's much more than that. The true cost of a phone is the thousands of hours you've spent scrolling, the thousands of hours that you potentially have wasted into watching funny cat videos, as good as they are. The true cost of a phone is the number of hours you could have spent with your family, the number of hours you could have spent developing your communication skills, the number of hours you could have spent creating a side hustle, the number of hours you could have read and grown your mind. The true cost of a phone is worth way more than $1,400. And think about the year-on-year cost that you pay by being addicted to the phone. It's not $1,400, my friends. People now in the world are no longer able to see the true cost of things. The true cost of a mobile phone is millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. Let me ask you this next question. What do you think is the true cost of you not improving your communication skills? What's the true cost of you not improving these skills? Is it just, I won't have a better sounding voice? No, it's way more than this. The true cost of you not improving your ability to communicate is that people will continue to misunderstand you. You will continue to be invisible. You will continue to not be able to build deep connections with others. You will go into job opportunities, miss out on them because you're technically brilliant, but you haven't been able to communicate the value that you have. The true cost of you not being able to communicate, do you think it's worth $1,400? Is it $500,000? Is it millions? Is it a number? No. No, the true cost of you not being able to communicate is not a number. It's not a figure. It's not a dollar number. It's not a dollar figure. Do you know what the true cost of you not being able to communicate is? all of your potential. All of it. That's the true cost of you not being able to communicate. This is me from over 15 years ago. I'm going to play for you this video. I hate playing this video, but listen to the Vinh from before. This was me before I realized the beautiful instrument I had access to. This was Vinh when I was invisible. This is Vinh when I had so many gifts and talents trapped within me. This is Vinh that was not succeeding in life. Oh, I hate this video. I'll play 21 seconds of it at most.
Hey everyone, welcome to my garage office slash home where I sleep, everything. I just had to make this video. I think I said my name was Vinh already, I'm not sure, but I pressed record and I'm just
Okay, that's it. No more of that. That gives me the heebie-jeebies. But you see, the reason I show you this is because I want you to know that this is a set of learnable skills. It's a set of learnable skills anybody can learn. What you saw there was Vinh version 1.0. And that level of Vinh was rather unhappy. It was a rather unhappy version of Vinh. And then I gradually, I believe now, the Vinh you see before you, this is a slightly happier version of Vinh and maybe a better hair color that his mum approves of, because before when I was blonde, my mum said I look like a Yakuza. No hate to the Yakuza, my mum just doesn't like them. But again, this is Vinh 20.0. Now my journey to go from 1.0 to 20.0, do you know what my journey looked like? Okay, so I YouTube videos, Google, and then I watched different things, and then I learnt, and then I kind of went backwards in my journey. And I kind of went, oh, maybe I should learn all the wrong ways from people who say they're experts, but they're not actually experts. And then my journey took over bloody 20 years for me to become version 20.0. It should not have taken 20 years, for goodness sake. This is why I created my stage programs, to give you the direct path to version 20 of you. To save you all the time, to all the wasted resources, all the heartache, learning from all the darn wrong people. But I know some of you are still sitting there thinking to yourself, I know that even if I join this Vinh, nothing's going to change. What's stopping you there? What's that thing? Call it out. I'm going to call it out for you. That one thing is self-doubt. Oh yeah, it's self-doubt. We all have it, so do I. And so do all of my students. So if that self-doubt is holding you back, here is just me doing a level over 9,000 Kamehameha towards that self-doubt. If you don't know Dragon Ball Z, I'm just attacking your self-doubt. So the way that I'm going to attack your self-doubt is by the following. Let me show you one of my students, okay? This is one of my students who had the exact same self-doubt as you. This is her when she first came to me. She came to me with the attitude of, you know what, I'm here, but I don't think anything's really going to work because I'm stuck being the way I am. Self-doubt, self-doubt, self-doubt. Watch her when she just came. This is her at the beginning.
I have a job that I love and a fulfilling work. I really have found that I'm giving back to the world. And I'm so thankful that I took that step, and now that $75 seems pretty well spent.
Punchline. Oh, no, yeah, good. And the punchline was the shoes, what, your life?
Oh, the shoes changed my life.
No, the shoes saved your life. Boom, big round of applause again, that was great. Can you see it in her body language? Can you see it can you hear it in the sound of her voice? Self-doubt just consuming her, going, oh, I'm here, I'm just doing it. I was able to help Rachel because I was able to give her the most direct path there. And watch Rachel just 3 months after as she went through the stage program. This is 3 months. This is not 3 years. This is not 20 years. This is 3 months. Watch what happened.
It was about a year and a half after I graduated from college. I was working my first job as an engineer. I was asking myself questions like, what am I giving back to the world? What is it all about? What is the meaning of life? You know, totally normal questions that one asks oneself after you buy a pair of footwear. And yes, I am still wearing that same pair of dirty, stinky Chaco sandals. Starting to think that maybe that was a pretty good deal after all. Those shoes saved my life.
Big round of applause. Yeah. Oh, I love this so much. I love this because did you see the transformation? She didn't have to do what I did. She didn't have to do this. She was able to find the most direct path there. And this is the most beautiful part of the story because it rounds out the entire story. This is Rachel and I just talking, and one of my videographers, he's always filming me. Look at the moment we captured 6 months into the stage program. Look at this, look at this, look at this.
Thank you for everything.
Oh, my pleasure.
Since the last workshop, I got a promotion.
High five! You got a promotion?
Yeah.
Oh, kick ass! She got a promotion! Wasn't that amazing? All of the brilliance inside her was invisible for the longest time because she was technically great with what she did, but she did not understand for the life of her how she could improve that brilliance to help the world see her for the talents that she has to offer. Communication skills unlocks just that. It keeps you from being 007. Leave secret agent business to secret agents. Leave that to Daniel Craig. Stop being a secret agent with your abilities, your talents, and your gifts. Let's once and for all learn how to amplify the best parts of who we are. Time to announce the 3 winners. We've got 3 winners who are joining the Stage Academy, my online course. Super excited about this. Dan's already written your names on the board. So we're going to throw to a different screen and we're going to show the winners in 3, 2, drum roll. Congratulations to James Secker Joseph. And then congratulations to Chanel Tran. Oh, lovely name, Chanel. And then next one, we've got Mary Trunzo. So if these are the 3 people, you are the winners to the Stage Academy, my online course. They're each worth about $1,000. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. You're going to be able to begin your journeys right away. Thank you for staying with us. And look, again, like I said, all of you are not going to walk away with nothing. I'm also going to give all of you access to the self-awareness assessment guide. I'm going to show you exactly where you can find that. So I'm going to switch camera angles. So as promised, as the end of our time has come, and I'm doing Q&A too, for those of you who want to stay around to do Q&A. But I'm going to share with you where you can find that particular PDF link. So Dan, could you drop a link in the chat? If you go to the page that Dan has just linked, right on the bottom of the page, because we just thought that might be an easy place to put it so we don't have too many links going on. But if you go to the bottom of that link, you'll find the self-awareness assessment here, which is the 5-step process that allows you to continue your communication journey with me. I know that many of you, I've seen it in the chat, I saw it pop through, many of you said, hey Vin, this is kind of difficult for me, I can't afford this. Hey, I want to understand I got you. There was a point in my life too where I couldn't afford $8.99 too. That's why I created the PDF. But more than creating the PDF, that's why I create content on social media, right? I post the video every single day on every single platform. And that's me trying to help those of you who are not quite there, right? And you still need to build up your finances. I get it. My family are refugees from Vietnam. So I totally understand. I got you. That's why we created all the extra resources to help you too. But then for my students who are ready to take that next step, I'm also here for you too. I can only serve a limited number of students every single year. And for those of you who decided to join me, I'm so excited to serve you. I don't know how many more years I'm going to teach communication skills, because as my interests change, I want to give myself permission to change what I do in my life. So there's only a certain number of years left that I'm going to be doing this. And for those of you who've chosen to join me, I cannot wait to serve you. I cannot wait to help you amplify the best parts of who you are. But I thought what we'll do now is we'll do a bit of Q&A. So for those of you who have the time and want to hang out with me, I'm more than happy to do Q&A. So we've got a Q&A tab, by the way. If you want to leave a question, drop it in the Q&A tab. I'm going to sort through them by the most upvotes. So most recent, most upvotes. Okay, let me just quickly do this because my videographers will kill me. They say that when I do Q&A, I have to turn off this light here. And when I do Q&A, I need to turn on this light here. Social media videographers, they tell me off all the time. I always get told off in my team. All right. So, hey, can I just quickly call out too? It is so beautiful seeing the people in the chat congratulating people on winning. Do you know how beautiful that is? It's so beautiful to see that even though someone didn't win, they still congratulated the people who did win. And that is such a beautiful quality in people. Whereas, hey, even if I didn't win, I'm still going to celebrate your win. Whereas a lot of the times it's easy to get bitter, isn't it? And again, I think you're all just such bigger people and I'm proud of you. So, answering a couple of questions. One of the first questions that I see is one of my students kind of said in the Q&A here, this will probably be the 5th one down. The person asks, Vin, I don't speak English as my first language. Are the stage programs going to help me? English is not my first language. English is my 3rd language. I first learned Diju. I'll give you a bit of Diju. Aussie Diju now. I learned that fluently, and then I learned Vietnamese. Vinh là người Việt Nam. Tôi là Vinh sang ở Mỹ. Then I learned that fluently, and then I learned English. So you've got to understand that I've built this program with you in mind, because I didn't learn English as my first language. It was my 3rd language. So please understand that if English is not your first language, I got you. I thought about you while I've created my stage programs. And I've got specific lessons inside the Stage Academy that help you address some of the things that can impact you when you communicate, especially your accent, etc. So there are tips on that too. So just know that we do cover that. And then let's jump to another question here. We've got one here. Okay, so we've got a question here from Royce, and Royce says, Vin, I sometimes find it difficult to string together a sentence when I'm in the presence of people who are perceived higher status. I end up tripping over my words and not really being clear with what I'm trying to say. Do you have any tips to overcome this? I do. And it's to do with self-confidence. And it's to do with self-worth. I used to feel this exact thing because for me in the Asian culture, when I was growing up, I was taught that you always have to respect your elders. And if someone is older than you, regardless of their level of expertise or regardless of their level of wisdom, you immediately just have to bow down to them and respect them and never question the things they say. Just by them being on this earth longer than you, that gives them the right to tell you what to do, right? So that's how I was brought up. So then when I started to become a speaker on stage, anytime I saw anybody in the audience with white hair, anytime I saw anybody with white hair, I'd kind of go, oh no, I shouldn't be sharing lessons because that person obviously knows more than me because they're older than me. So I battled with this problem that you shared, Royce, my entire life. Until I learned a really powerful lesson. And the lesson was taught to me by one of my theatre coaches. My theatre coach just said to me, Vin, it's not the length of time somebody is alive that determines the value they have to add as a human being. It's the number of lessons they've learned in that period of time. That's part one. Part two, then you also have to realize that everyone is human and everyone is just trying to work it out. No one knows all the answers. Everyone's confused and trying to work it out as they go along. And then the thing that he said to me that made me feel the most comfortable, he says, and then you know what? Everybody farts. I was like, what? And he goes, Vin, just remember that everybody, even that person that you're afraid of, who's your manager, who's your CEO, when he goes home, no one's looking, he or she farts. And they do stinky farts. They're human, in other words. And remember, you're also human. You're both human. And then that humanized them for me in a strange way. I kind of went, you know what, that makes sense. When they go home, they put on pajamas and they have Pokemon on their pajamas too, right? And it just kind of, instead of putting them on a pedestal, I was able to start to reframe it and feel more confident. Because you know what, at the end of the day, if someone who is confident, they believe that we're all equal. That's the beautiful thing about confident people. Confident people, when they look around, they don't think, I'm better than you, you're better than me, but I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you. No, no, no. Confident people, this is how they think. There's something I can learn from everyone. I'm human just like you are human. I have something to add to this conversation. I have something to add to this area of expertise, just like you have. And you respect that person, and that comes across. So that really helped me be able to be more comfortable around those who are higher status than me. To remember they're still human, to remember that I have self-worth and value and expertise that I can bring to the table, and that they also fart. And it stinks and it's smelly. Next question from Eugene. Eugene says, hey Vin, sometimes when I turn to speak in a meeting or a presentation, and because the attention is on me, I tend to lose my train of thought and I stumble on my words. Any tips or ways I can overcome this? Eugene, when I hear this, I immediately think the rehearsal process that you follow may not be adequate. A lot of the times, one of the main reasons people forget what they're going to say is because they haven't rehearsed properly. There is a 7-step formula on how to rehearse, and I've got that inside the Stage Academy. So first of all, I'm going to say to you that the rehearsal process is critical. But more than the rehearsal process, to add value to you right now, because the 7-step process takes a good 20+ minutes to go through. So in the spirit of adding value to you right now, there's another component that causes us to forget things, and that's dealing with nerves. When we're super nervous, what tends to happen is we start to get really tense, and when you're super tense, you're not thinking clearly, and that causes you to lose your train of thought. One of the fastest ways to be able to make sure you walk into that presentation relaxed, there's a beautiful breathing technique. It's called Wim Hof. If you just YouTube Wim Hof breathing cycle, and then you did 3 cycles of that breathing technique before you went into your presentation, that calms your nerves and allows you to deliver and start in a much more relaxed way, which will minimize the chance of you forgetting what you're going to say and stumbling over your words. Before I do these virtual masterclasses, before I run these free masterclasses, I'm always doing 3 cycles of Wim Hof at a minimum. It relaxes me and allows me to flow, right? I used to get really nervous with these because, again, like you saw today, we had nearly 10,000 people join us. So that makes me really nervous because I'm like, oh my goodness, there's so many people are typing, so many people are chatting, and it freaks me out. So I have to go through the process that I'm sharing with all of you. All right, let me jump to the next one. And hey, if you're still here and you have decided to join Dan and I for the stage bundle, let me know, fire emoji it. Fire emoji it. I really want to see those who joined me. Yes, I'm going to call out your names. We've got Anas, we've got Prajal, we've got Frill, Anas, Nelly, Sa, Rohail, Tina Pearson, we've got Batch, but in Vietnamese. Thank you, got a couple of Vietnamese. Oh, we've got double Vietnamese here. We've got Claire Nguyen as well. Nguyen's are in the house today. Any Jiangs in the house? We've got Janet, we've got Niku, Gratika, Rosie, we've got Edward, Steve. Good day, Steve. Good to see you, mate. Lara, Lara typed fire emoji. I love that, Lara. Can't wait to meet you, Lara. We've got Alex, Jen. Hey, so good, so many fire. This is outrageous. I won't say this right now, but I'm really excited. We have something really exciting for all of our students who are part of the stage programs. Remember, you're all luminaries. I can't wait. I'll share that in the class. Okay, now, the next question we've got here. Someone just did a whole bunch of fires. Nina, hello, Nina. Thank you for all those fire emojis. That's so good to see you. All right, let me jump back to the Q&A here. Let's have a look a bit more Q&A. Here's an interesting question. Taylor says, Vin, how do you deal with blank faces from the audience? When you're speaking, how do you deal with those blank faces? Here's a hot tip for you. Don't deal with them at all. Don't focus on those blank faces. When you're on stage or when you're presenting, it's so easy to focus on the people who are like this. And people who are like this. It's so easy to focus on those people because if you focus on those people, do you know what happens to you? Do you know what happens? You try to win over the people who are not going to be engaged anyway. Instead, look for the faces that are smiling. Here's the fact of the matter. No matter what it is that you do, even for me, out of the 9,000+, 10,000 people that were here, there's going to be a small part of the audience that doesn't like what you have to share. They're not going to like what you teach. They're not going to believe in the lessons that you believe in. They're not going to believe in your teaching methods. They're not going to believe in you. And that's okay. Because this is the thing that drives me crazy, it used to drive me crazy, is one of my favorite foods is green curry. I love green curry. And when I meet someone who doesn't like green curry, I'm like, how? How is it possible you don't like this, one of the most amazing dishes in the world? And if not everybody in the world likes green curry, which is the most delicious dish in the world, then how would anybody like you? How would everybody like you? It's impossible. So what I've just learned in my life is that you can't please everyone. And if you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. Let me say that again. If you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. So take it from me. I create content on a daily basis. No matter what I say, there are thousands of people that disagree with me. And that's okay. I don't focus on them. I focus on the people who I'm here to serve. I focus on the smiling faces. I don't focus on the faces. I don't focus on them. I literally don't focus. I don't have time. In this life of mine, I've got a very limited amount of time. I'm going to find my tribe, the people that I'm meant to serve, and I'm going to serve you. I want to serve you. So I would say the same thing to you, Taylor. Focus on the smiling faces. And you know what? I'll say this one thing as well. People often go on the learning journey by themselves. You don't have to. You can already see in the chat, there are thousands of people who are going to go on this learning journey together. So if you're one of the people who you know that when you go on the learning journey by yourself, you tend to not follow through, then join us here at Stage, right? Join us here at Stage where we all learn together. We'll go on this journey together. And I love this quote. It's an African proverb. I love this quote. It says, if you want to go fast, then go alone. But if you want to go far, then let's go together. And it's the truth, isn't it? For some of you, you won't potentially even need me, and you just take what lessons you've learned here and you will just excel at a really fast rate. And look, if that's you, great. But if you want to go really far with this, then let's go together. That's why I've kind of created the programs the way I've created them. And you've got to know too, because one of the questions asked here, this is a question from Tiago. Tiago just says, you know, how many times have you updated the Stage Academy? And I've updated it so many times. I've created the Stage Academy from scratch 4 times over. So I created the first version, then I scrapped it. Because again, that first version was me sitting at a computer like this with slides going, okay, everyone, what we're going to learn now is we're going to learn vocal foundations, we're going to deep dive. No, this is garbage, this is terrible. So I created another version, version 2, scrapped that version as well. Then I created version 3, scrapped that version, threw it in the bin. And each time I created these, it took me 6+ months. And then finally I did it the 4th time and I went, yes. Okay, this is now good. That's when I added the examples of my in-person workshops. That's when I added examples of people learning online. And I put all of it in the Stage Academy, not only so that you can learn the lessons, but so that you can see the transformations happen and you can see the advice and the behavior that created the transformation. I tried to make this as pragmatic as possible. And if you like my social media content, you're going to love the Stage Academy because it teaches you in a very structured way. 1 step at a time, 1 thing at a time. And then the Stage Virtual Masterclass, oh, that's fun. That's so fun. We're about to run a class next week, Dan and I, and oh, it's going to be so fun. Yeah, it's going to be so fun. Okay, next question. I'm going to try to give people who just asked questions some love. All right, let's have a look here. Oh, okay, so this is from an anonymous attendee who asked the question at 11:15 my time AM. And the person asked, Vin, why do I always lose my ability to speak when I am talking in a crowd? It's nervousness. It's the anxiety. That often stops us from being ourselves. So to the anonymous person who asked this question, I know for a fact that when you're around your friends, you communicate really, really well. You communicate in a way that's beautiful. You talk with excitement, you have beautiful vocal qualities, you use your body language. But then what happens when we speak to strangers is the anxiety and the nervousness that we feel, it tends to make us smaller. So if you notice yourself speaking with a smaller volume, if you notice yourself playing smaller, and you notice this in people who are nervous in public, right? People in public, again, this is what happens. Small body language. They're really small with their body language and really, really small with their voice. And they don't hold strong eye contact. And again, these are the behaviors when we're nervous. And that's what happens when we're nervous. That's what happens when you don't know how to deal with nerves. And again, people don't recognize that, and this is the ugly truth. This is the answer that most people don't want the answer to. But the only way to get better in these situations is actually to expose yourself to these situations more often. It's the simple things you do. So if you find that a trigger is when you're around strangers, it causes you to be really nervous and closed up, okay, cool. Recognize that. That's okay. That's not permanent. Don't be so hard on yourself. Recognize that within 12 months, you can completely change. You can completely communicate like a whole new person in 12 months. So don't for a second think you're stuck. So for example, if you get nervous around speaking to strangers, this is what you do. The very next time you're walking in public, try to catch somebody's eyes when you're walking. So just look at someone as you're walking. Gradually, as you look at someone, they're going to gradually look at you. And the moment they look at you, just smile and say, hey, good morning, love your scarf. And then keep walking. That's all you got to do. Share a genuine compliment. Make sure you do like their scarf if that's what you're going to say. Find something about them that you really like and just call it out and just keep walking. And while you say those words, you have to practice saying them with strong levels of volume and a big smile on your face and a beautiful big gesture. So you look at someone, they finally look at you like, hey, good morning. Hey, just want to just quickly say, love your shoes. Amazing, amazing. Have a good one. And keep walking. And that's how you start to practice this behavior in a non-threatening environment. So you can start to undo that old behavior of, oh, feel nervous, going to just clam down, small body language, bad posture, lower volume, and then I'm not going to look at people anymore. So how do you undo those habits? Well, you have to work on one little thing at a time. And you've got to do it in a safe environment. You see, I hope this gives you a sense of what we do in the stage sessions. Every single month we come together. Why do we come together with all of my students? Why? What for? It's to answer questions like this, because these questions always come up. And then there are, and I'll acknowledge, I mean, I'm not afraid to acknowledge this, we're all human. There are going to be some little gaps in the Stage Academy. Well, that's why I run the stage sessions, so that once we plug those gaps, we take the videos from stage sessions, edit them, we put it into the Stage Academy, the online course, and we plug the gaps. Because again, we believe in creating an online course that grows with you, not something you join that's dated from 20 years ago and it stays that way. No. That would make me die inside. All right, next question. Let's have a look here. Maria Ramos. Maria. And hey, just quick shout out. I just want to say, hey, if you're still here and you have joined me, drop a fire emoji. I want to know. I want to call your name out. Abu. Yeah, we got Abu who just joined. Thank you, Dan, for the streamers. See, look at Dan and his fancy streamers. I don't know, it's Georgia. We got Adam. We got Jacob. We got Ken. G'day, Ken. We got Alex with the fire emoji again. I see you, Alex. I'm starting to see your name pop up a lot, Alex. We got Bath. We've got Sokha. We've got Mohammed. We've got Holly, Lisa, Shane. We've got Dan, Naman. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. I can't wait to join all of you. Hannah, we've got Matteo, we've got Eric, and we've got, my goodness, I can't believe how much chat is blown up. This is unreal. Hey, thank you for being a part of my top 5. I can't wait to bring lots of value as a part of your top 5. And I know many of you who have already joined me are staying here for this. I hope you're excited because we're doing this every month for the remainder of this year. We're doing this all the way through. And when you join, you'll notice that inside the online course portal, you've got access to the recordings of the last 2-month Q&As as well. And you'll be able to see how jam-packed full of value they are. Because we prepare for those, we spend time, we get for all the gear that's in my studio, we listed everything down for you. We broke it all down so you can build one of these studios if you want, right? You can build part of the studio, you can build 10% of the studio. Quick thing I wanted to say here. It's based on a question. The question is from Brian, and Brian says, hey, I want to ask you, Vin, when it comes to communication skills, why do you think it's so relevant in today's world? Well, first of all, Brian, I just want to say that I believe communication skills is relevant. It'll be relevant for as long as humans stay humans and we don't turn into cyborgs. But while we're still in this form, because I think cyborgs are just inevitable at some point, but while we remain in this form, I believe human-to-human connection is one of the most beautiful things you'll ever experience. I really do. You know, I really do that when we sit down and have a nourishing conversation, there's nothing that beats that. No watch, no car, no house can beat that. That's just what I believe. And that's why I believe that no matter where we are in life, when we learn this ability to communicate, when we learn how to turn strangers into friends, and we can learn how to take surface level conversations to deeper level conversations, that's when we start to feel more fulfilled in this life. It's actually one of the main reasons I teach communication skills. You know, one of the reasons I teach it is because I find that in the world we live in today, we're losing the art of connection. Look, I'll ask you this again. Right now, there are thousands of you here, right? Do you feel connected to me? Do you feel a sense of connection with me? And so many of you are typing yes, and thank you for typing yes. It's okay. And for some of you, if you don't feel connected to me, that's okay. I'm not trying to please everyone. But one of the main reasons why, Brian, it's so important to learn communication skills in today's world, if you think about your career professionally first, I've talked about the personal side, now I'll talk about the professional side, is because when you learn how to communicate effectively, look what I'm able to do right now. I'm able to build a personal brand at scale. You don't have to have 10, 20 million followers online to have a personal brand. You can have 400 people. One of my friends just lost his job recently, and because he's been creating LinkedIn videos, and he's been creating videos for the last 18 months, when he lost his job, he was panicking, but because he made a video and shared with everyone that, hey, I've just recently been made redundant, and because it's been adding value and building a personal brand on LinkedIn for the last 18 months, he was jobless for about 1 week. And because of the personal brand that he had created, because of his ability to communicate to his network at scale, he already had built trust with over 400 people on his LinkedIn network. And because he was delivering value, because he was communicating really effectively, because he was technically good, but because he was always also able to communicate that technical brilliance, and because he was communicating that for the last 18 months, people knew how good he was. So the moment he put out that video and communicated it in a very beautiful and succinct way to say, hey, I've just been made redundant. Here are my skills. Is there anyone in my network that think I can add value to their business? 7 days later, back in a job. Do you know how powerful that is? Whereas I know so many people, when the market got really difficult during COVID, they lost their jobs and they freaked out. They freaked out because the only way they can apply for a new job is one job application at a time, by talking to one person at a time during a job interview. Whereas my friend was able to make one video, and that video was shared around. It got viewed over 1,000 times, and was 1 week that he experienced no jobs. After that, he got a flood of job offers, and he could now pick. That's the power of effective communication. Because now you're just able to turn on your phone and create a video and post it. You're able to create hundreds and thousands of first impressions every single week. Now, if you don't communicate well and you turn on the camera and you do this, then that's going to work against you. You can also create thousands and hundreds of bad impressions every single week. This is why this is such a critical skill set right now, Brian. More than ever, we live in a world now where you can infinitely scale your personal brand. You can open up an infinite number of doors. An infinite number of doors. You know my videos? I just got an email. Dan just received an email last week. Guess from who? Netflix. Right? There are doors of opportunity that are opening that are unbelievable to me. And when I think about it, why are these doors of opportunity opening? Because it's not actually, I'm not knocking on any doors. I'm not physically spending hours and hours knocking. No, I'm not. I'm just creating a video. And someone in Netflix, up in the levels, saw that video of mine. They felt connected to it. That's opened up a door of opportunity for me now. Do you see the power of this? This is why I say that the skill of communication is the tide that lifts all boats. That's a really bold statement. What I'm essentially saying there is when you improve your communication skills, it's going to improve your entire life. And look, that's a really bold statement. And people tend to make these bold statements a lot online. But I'm going to back up that bold statement with proof. If you improve the way you talk, why does that improve your entire life? Well, because where do you open your mouth and talk in life? When you wake up in the morning and talk to your family? When you wake up in the morning and talk to your kids? When you go to work and you talk to your team members? When you go and you talk to your customers and your clients? When you come home and you talk to your parents? When you go and you talk to your friends? This is why communication skills will change your entire life. Because there are so many different areas in which we communicate. Yet again, it makes me really sad that the system that we live in today's world doesn't value this. It doesn't teach it. Our jobs automatically assume that we should be good at and expect us to be good at communication skills. But where do we learn? This is why I feel the system has failed us. This is why I'm so proud of you. If you've taken the steps towards improving that communication skills yourself, what does that mean? It means you're taking ownership. You're taking ownership for your own life. You're taking ownership for the success. You're not waiting for somebody else to come and change your life. You're taking the action to change your own life. So well done. I'm proud of you. I want to share one last message with you all as we part ways and close the class. Why do I teach communication skills? Why do I call my students luminaries? So for those of you who have taken the first step and those of you who have dropped the fire emoji, you are now a luminary. You are one of the luminaries from stage. And why did I pick this word to call all of you? Why did I choose this word? Because a luminary is a light. And the more luminaries that I have join me in this mission, when you open your mouth and you speak, I want you to understand the power that you wield. Depending on how you use your voice, you can make or break someone's day. Depending on how you use this instrument, you can make someone angry as hell and filled with hate, or you can make them feel love, a sense of joy, kindness, and compassion. You know this to be true. If someone's road raging and they just open the window, yell at you, what does that do to you? It makes you angry. That is not being a luminary. For my students who join me, and if you are a luminary and you're committed to becoming the luminaries that will make this world a better place, I ask you this. The very next moment, luminaries, that you walk out and you speak to a stranger, it might be someone who's at the gas station, it might be someone who is the grocery person managing the groceries for you. I want you to know that you can use your voice to brighten that person's day. I want you to use your voice to spread more love, to spread more kindness, and to spread more compassion. And I fundamentally believe that as I start to teach more and more and more students, and as my students commit to the path of being a luminary, we're going to be able to change this world and make it a more loving, kinder, and compassionate place. Think about this. one voice can create so much evil in this world, and we're seeing that right now. We're seeing that all over the world. There are key people using their instrument for evil. But I believe that as luminaries, as we have the courage to learn how to use our instrument, we can stand up and use our instrument to spread more love, kindness, and compassion. And we can defeat those who are using their instruments for evil. Use your instrument, brighten someone's day. And don't doubt the impact that has. Because as you brighten that person's day at the gas station, do you know what happens? By you using your voice in a fun way, by you going in and saying, hey, just wanted to say, if no one's told you today, you're awesome, man. You're awesome. And I just have to call out again, I love shoes. I just have to call out again, love the pair of kicks you're rocking today. That person is going to go home and spread that ripple with their children. And then their children might feel that and then go to school and then spread that ripple. Do not doubt the small gestures of kindness, love, and compassion. To all my luminaries who've made the decision to join me, I can't wait to serve you and help you shine your bright as possibly, as humanly possible. And even if you haven't joined me, it's okay. I know there will come a time where you'll be able to join me. I'm here, and I will be here when you're ready. Thanks, everyone. Take care.